Free, you get a complete diagnostic report. So even if they can't fix it, at least you'll know they've taken out all the unknowns. 303-781-9858. 303-781-9858. And on my referral list at referralist.com.
Grainberry, Grainberry, healthy cereal for your family. Who are you?
I'm the guy who's going to take your boring cereal and switch it with delicious Grainberry cereal with amazing onyx sorghum.
What's onyx sorghum?
It's an ancient grain rich in natural fiber for sugar control.
Will my kids like it?
If they like flavor.
Oh.
And it sounds like they do.
Look for Grainberry cereals with amazing onyx sorghum.
Grainberry, Grainberry.
November is the time when you really start to feel the pain of your home's bad windows, which makes it the ideal time for Renewal by Anderson's countdown to Black Friday windows. Check notes from Renewal by Anderson. Our window sale is going on now and ends on Black Friday, but until then, you'll get our biggest dollar discount and best claim of the entire year. Get $330 off every window and $900 off every patio door. No money down, no payments, no interest for 2 years. Don't wait until winter. Renewal by Anderson.
No, I'm not chasing my
Black Friday window sale is going on now.
You just do that for fun? I really don't do it that often.
I'm telling you, the rattlesnakes around here are not the ones. They're props.
You're very silly.
They're props.
Down south, we used to see 5 and 6 footers pretty regular. So. I don't do it very often either. That's okay. You're the one they're trying to get
do it all.
See website for restrictions.
Without money, but you
I look a little bit better.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling
Hi,
bad.
Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. I love doing this, and I thank you so much for inviting me in. Whether you're listening live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on KHOW Radio, live on KRDO Radio, maybe you downloaded us on iTunes, or maybe you found us on iHeartRadio app. We've gotten people from all over the country contacting us on how much they love the show. We appreciate it. In fact, if we get out-of-state calls from those people listening, we will send you some swag from the show. So Christmas is coming up. If you have somebody that you know listens and you want to give them, what do we have, Suzanne? We have a bunch of swag, we can give them some shirts and stuff. So,
bumper sticker.
Yeah, we'll have some fun. So if you're calling from out of state, let us know. Or if you're a diehard fan, we'll even do it. So listen, you know, I don't expect you to be a fan of me. I'm a vessel here with the show, but a fan of the show. That's what I'm looking for. You see, I feel like I'm a part of this show like you are. There's really, really no difference. You guys bring the information on your end, I bring the information on my end, then we have a bunch of people in between that help. It really does work. So today is Car Day. It's brought to you by Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. The word there is variety. You have variety of makes, models, price ranges, and colors, and variety in financing. Many lenders to choose from. And that's good because some lenders want A credit, B credit, C credit. They specialize in certain areas. The real deal is, though, it gets done before you leave and approved. They won't let you take a car unless it's 100% approved. Some car dealers, they do what's called tripping a car or rolling a car. They let you take the car. They know that you're hooked. They're going to get you hooked, and then they call back and say, oh, by the way, you got to bring in more money for a down payment or get a cosigner or raise the interest or something. Rockies doesn't play those games. 63rd and Federal, 303-426-4646. Today is Car Day. Now, what we do on Car Day is we emphasize Car Day, but we don't do just cars. I let you dictate what's going on. Jeff Fick is here from Kimmer Transmission. Ron and Mark, Ron Langford, the founder, and Mark Stolberg with Master Drive. Master Drive, of course, I think a wonderful program for teaching you driving skills, mainly targeted to young people getting licenses. Then we have Brian Grossi with Lakewood Auto Electric. Now, Auto Electric is voodoo, and whenever something goes wrong, it's like voodoo. And I notice that no matter who the mechanic is or how certified they are, they look at Brian kind of like just a wizard, because electrics scare people.
They do. Yeah, it does.
Is it getting better or worse with the digitizing?
It's getting better, but more complicated for sure. You know, it's the technology nowadays in these cars is just amazing. And,
yes. Now,
you know,
go ahead.
They're an extension of your office or what have you. You know, communications with the navigation systems, audio systems, and then, you know, internet stuff coming in, and it's just incredible.
I think I love talking technology, and throughout the show, I'll tell you what I found so astounding about wiring and digital technology in a couple of minutes. Chet, you're on. What's happening, Chet?
What can a customer expect when he buys a set of tires with 60,000 miles wear?
You know, I often wonder, what is a wear warranty? What is it?
That's what my question is.
I really don't know, because there are so many things excluded. Jeff, you don't sell tires, do you? Suzanne, get Mark on. Mark is working from home today. Could you get Mark on? He's been in the tire business. Really, what is a wear warranty? What is it? What does it cover? Anybody know? I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting a tire replaced under warranty.
I'm unfamiliar with it, and I don't deal in tires, so this is completely outside of my realm.
But Chet, what happened with you? What happened with you?
Well, my tires are probably ready to replace at a little over 28,000 miles.
And you bought 60,000-mile tires?
Yes.
Okay. Mark, were you going to say something for Master Drive?
Yeah, so when we get tires onto the fleet, you know, we're looking at the wear ratings, and we have had some prorated credits given when we had to replace tire that was earlier than the wear rating.
Let's talk to Mark. Mark Major, working from his home office, and he's been in the tire business. His dad's been in the tire business before him for years. And Mark, what are these wear warranties on tires? What are they really? Like, when they say it's guaranteed for 60,000 miles, what does that really mean?
Well, it means they're guaranteed for 60,000 miles, but here's how almost all the major ones work. If there's any alignment wear or cupping or lack of rotation, lack of maintenance records, they're going to be voided. If they're OEM, they come on a new car, it does not have that warranty. But some dealers like Roley would probably handle that for you if he could get it through. I mean, they work if you rotate them, if you do everything perfectly.
So what you're saying, if you take care of your tires like you should, and you can show it, and let's say on a 60,000-mile tire, you get 30,000 miles, basically what's happening with Chet. Do they you know, Master Drive here just told me that they have been able to get some credit on prorated credit on new tires.
Sure. What would happen is you would go, are they original, the exact one we're talking about, are they original equipment, or did he buy it somewhere?
No,
Chet,
they're new tires, yes.
Not with the car.
In other words, replacement tires for the car, or they came with the car?
No, they did not.
Okay, so you bought them. All right. Go ahead, Mark.
So he needs to go back to where he bought them, and long as he rotated. Here's what happens a lot of times, guys. You buy a set of 4 tires, 60,000 miles. You don't rotate them. The two on the front are completely bald. The ones on the back have, 70-80% tread because they were never rotated. But let's say he did rotate them. You bring them back, and let's pretend that those tires were $100 a piece. If everything was right and he only got half the mileage, they would give him a credit of $50 towards a new tire. I mean, it's pretty much industry standard. But once again, the rotation is massive. If two of them are bald and two of them aren't, the guy didn't rotate. If the alignment was off and it cupped the tires or has any kind of weird wear on the tires, it's going to be void as far as the mileage warranty.
Okay, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. We may be calling you from time to time. So that's it, Chet. What can you do? Can you show you've rotated them?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay, I'd go see him. Where'd you buy him?
Oh, gosh, discount tires on...
Okay. Isn't discount the one that the lady throws it through the window?
Yeah, she did.
Go throw it through the window.
Those guys are pretty good. Those guys are pretty reasonable.
I want to hear what they do for you, so would you please call us back and let us know? I would love.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Char, what's happening?
Hello.
Char? I'm sorry, Char?
Yes.
Is that short for Charlene?
It is.
Okay, Char, what's happening?
Well, we live in the city of North Glen. Over the 17 years that we've lived here, we've put a lot of work into our front yard.
Well, some people would call that work, other people would call it junk collecting. I like it, but what's happening with it?
I opened the door in May to two code officers on my deck.
I like
telling me that the deck that they were standing on was not permitted. The fence in front of the garage
did you
was
pull
not
a
permitted.
hold on? Did you pull a permit for this stuff?
Yes, we did.
Wait, you did pull a permit for the deck?
We did.
Then why did they say you didn't?
Because the building department didn't have any records of permits pulled for this address.
And what about
all of the permits?
How long ago did you do the deck?
The deck was done in 2005. And a permit was pulled. The permit was signed off. The site plan was signed off.
Did you keep the permit by any... I don't, but did you keep the permit?
Yes.
Oh, you actually have a copy of it.
I do.
Okay, so they came to the door, said, deck's not permitted, and you showed them. And then what else did they say was not permitted?
We have a pergola over our pond that allows us to have vines that grow over
Okay,
it.
when was the pergola put in? When was that put in?
It was put in 2005.
And do you have a permit for that?
We did not permit that.
Okay, so what did they say about that?
We needed one.
What did they say about
it wasn't. It's attached to the house, so it has to come off. If it wasn't attached to the house, then we could leave it. We said, well, we can...
Wait. Why? What difference did that make? I'm just curious. Why, if it's attached or not attached?
I don't know. They won't tell us.
Okay, so you have to remove it.
That's what they're saying, yes.
Okay, but you can keep the deck.
We can keep the front deck. There is also a deck by our east driveway that is under a large pine tree.
And you can't keep that one?
Well, according to the city of North Glen, if you look on their website today, under what do I need a permit for, it says a deck over 200 square feet and over 30 inches off the ground requires a permit. Ours is 112 square feet and it's 12 inches off the ground, therefore does not require a permit.
Well, what do they say when you bring this argument up? You're very articulate.
They say that, well, we changed those, and all decks now require a permit.
Yeah, but they can't go retroactive.
That's not apparently...
No, they can't. Why are they picking on you, Shar? Why are they picking on you?
I don't know. And we pissed in somebody's Wheaties. What can I say?
I never heard that. Pissed in somebody's Wheaties. Never heard that one. Hey, listen. I like your yard. I think it's cool. We need to put up photographs. Did you get them, Dan?
Tom, it is pretty
They're
cool.
up online. If you want to look at them, Facebook, our live feed. Did you put them on the side? How do you do that, Dan? You put it on the side?
Whatever. It was looking on YouTube or Facebook.
But can they see us and that at the...
No, just that.
You rotate through it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom.
Rotate through a few of them.
It's a little I Spy with my little eye photo.
Well,
Has a little
she didn't
Ken
create
Barbie
it.
doll,
She didn't create it for that
G.I.
reason.
Joe.
But we saw a naked G.I. Joe.
It has a marine theme, doesn't it? Like
Char?
a pier.
Char, the G.I. Joe. What's
G.I. Joe is part of the pond theme, and he was in a bathtub. I didn't realize he was still out there.
And then you hung your hose on an old wheel from a car.
On a wheel.
Now, and then you can see where there's kind of bumpers like on a dock. But I want to ask you something. Can you see where other people might say this is kind of weird? This looks like a house out in the country where, you know what I mean, where people might be missing some teeth. I'm just saying. Can you see that?
I guess not, because
okay.
almost everybody that comes up to our front door comments on what a peaceful, nice getaway it is.
No, it is. But you know what? I think one of the neighbors complained. We got to figure out what exactly you want us to do, okay? Because we do want to help if we can. We really do, but we got to figure out what is it. What is it that we can do? Genesis Total Exteriors, every day we get complaints about money down, nothing done in return, or shoddy work from home contractors. Genesis is very busy. That's good, because they're honest, they're not going to take your money and run, they're going to treat you right. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. They do exteriors and interiors on my referral list at referralist.com, 303-679-8509.
Yeah, here's what it looks like.
It's not.
It looks like Stanford and Son.
Not something. Yeah, it'd be a bummer if your neighbor. But it is.
So it is here. Pretty good looking. Yeah, it's in the country.
How much do you roughly? How much to fix the front differential for 2008 H3 with 170?
Like a Ken doll there, G.I. Joe there, crab trap there, little peephole.
Yeah, somewhere between.
It's like finding, here's a little beagle thing in these poles. See, the thing about it, that was backyard.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it varies that much, just depending on what.
Yeah,
I
mean,
if all you're looking at like bearings and whatnot, you know, pull it out. Do
you want your neighbor?
You know, if I get in there,
that wouldn't work. It's not that bad. It's like the inside of a little orchard with aspens. It's very pretty.
But this should be the backyard. This is the front yard.
It is a little weird looking for sure.
But they do change around, and on this day here, they have flamingos.
She's a free spirit for sure. For sure, but I've seen way more offensive. You know, it's done a little bit too.
To me, it looks like a clubhouse, like a little kid's clubhouse.
Yeah. Looks like one of those shacks you go eat at in like Florida, you know.
That's exactly
Florida,
what it looks like.
That's
exactly what it looks like. Right? So Joe's Crab Shack.
I just said that.
Oh. It's like the ridge. I double said it. He hears very slow. Yeah. It's fine.
I mean, there are lots of things to complain about. I don't.
But then she's got the flags. Look at the flags. That's like the checkered flags in the front.
Well, so I mean, she's a race fan.
But it's maintained, you know. It's like manicured. It's like looks like she does a lot of gardening.
Southeast Denver's best kept secrets, where smoking is allowed.
I know an HOA would not approve this.
I live in Highlands Ranch. I would get a notice like in the first 30 seconds.
Yes, you would.
It would be like, you're taking this guy now.
I'm
on or we'll send you
a retired major would come up to.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, let me get it for you. I got to start writing that down and keep it right here. We used to have a thing on the wall and I took it out. Let me.
Your relationship, do something about it. Put an end to ED with one visit to the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Erectile dysfunction and premature issues are simple to eliminate with the right treatment.
All right, where's my phone? Oh, there it is. I got to silence it. Oh, I love this new phone. I got the iPhone. Which one? The X? No, it's not the 10, but it's the 8 Plus. You like it though, huh? Yeah, I had Droid phones. I didn't do iPhones for a long time. I had one a while ago and traded it right in because it didn't play well with Google and it didn't integrate well. But now, of course, I've always had iMacs and iPads, so I got it. I love it. It's awesome. It really does interact well with everything now. And then the other thing I like is, you know, I use all IMAX, so everything now is all integrated.
Everything just syncs up.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
You got to kind of manage it a bit, or it can get jumpy. Right. I like it. I like the photo thing. In
the camera's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, it's like a regular camera. It takes really, really good pictures.
They've always been. I mean, all cell phones have surpassed regular digital cameras by far, long ago.
Right, Ivinson's at a funeral, so cover.
Right,
Drew
11.
suggested the
Right,
11 o'clock. Oh, you got my IN.
I wrote it down
okay, great.
right there. I'm going to do that. That's a great idea.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen a deck in the front yard.
I wonder if she has a hot tub behind there. Doesn't it look like she might have something covered?
Well, here, I'll show you one of these other pictures on that where they're building it. I don't think there's a hot tub in there. This is where they're building it. I don't know where they... That's the deck as they were building it. So what's... Yeah. So look, it goes right on up to the window.
Yeah, it's definitely a little obnoxious.
Little? Little. I've never, like I said, I've never seen a deck in the front yard.
I hope you never need Mike and Gigi Wink. Bankruptcy attorneys.
Gigi Wink.
Some people
bankruptcy attorneys. Some people have deaths in the family, unemployment. They have divorces, things unforeseen. Again, I'm not going to judge you, but I will tell you this. Bankruptcies should teach you a lesson if you got it because of consumer spending. Consumer spending is out of control with credit cards. winkandwink.com, Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. Mike and Gigi, husband and wife, 303-410-1720. 303-410-1720. So, today is car day. We love car day. I'm going to take somebody who held yesterday on another topic. And again, we don't have a single topic show, but we have our car guys standing by. We're going to talk a lot about anything that you want relating to cars, whether it's maintenance, repairs, sales, service of any kind. So, George, you did hold yesterday, and you have a problem. And by the way, contractor problems are a big problem now, and so are moving problems. This is trending now because a lot of people are moving into town. They're using bad movers, and then they get here and they hire contractors, and they get bad contractors. And I'd like to say, of course, it's because they're not using my referral list. But anyway, most movers are not movers. Did you know that? Most movers are aggregators. Most movers are a switchboard that take contracts and sell them to anyone. They don't have any skin in the game. Some movers are movers. The way you know it is if they have their own trucks and their own name and their own offices in other cities. So I just wanted to give that for people listening. So right now, George, let's hear about your moving problem.
Well, thanks, Tom, for having me on the air.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. Basically, this all started back in the 21st of October, where my wife was transferred for a job position from where we used to live in the Colorado Springs area down to Gilmer, Texas, which is East Texas.
So you went from here to there?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened?
Here. Well, we had about 30 days to prepare for this. Unfortunately, it was a...
Now, I want to get it straight. You're moving out of Colorado?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So, what happened and when?
Well, it happened because we hired a moving company that we thought was legitimate and went through the proper procedures, had all the right answers.
Okay, what company did you think was legit?
The name of the company is called Presidential Moving LLC.
Okay, how did you find them?
We, like I would assume most people, put our information in the internet and got thousands of calls, maybe not thousands, but obviously many calls from different people trying.
And how did you check out Presidential?
Best we could online.
What's the best you can? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Everyone, I guess, has a different.
Did you Google searching isn't backgrounding?
Correct.
Talking to people is backgrounding. Looking up court records is backgrounding. All this kind of stuff. But again, I'm not. By the way, just so you know, during our conversation, George, when I talk, I'm not necessarily talking to just you. It's people listening who might have a similar problem. So even though it might be too late for you, that's why I go over it. So checking out people, when you check them out, oh my God, it's so important to go further. And I mean talk to people. Talk to people. I would talk to people that have actually used them, and people should be happy to give you references. The other thing is, the biggest mistake with moving is they quote one price and hold you hostage and collect a much bigger price. That's the problem. Was that your problem?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly how it all started. Yep.
They quote. Now, did they quote in person? First of all, quotes should always be in person.
Well, no, not in person. A quote was done over the phone.
Yeah. Never, ever, ever should happen that way. So.
And we luckily kept the estimate, so we have it.
But it doesn't matter, because they're going to say, see, with a phone call, they're going to say, well, you didn't tell us about this, you didn't tell us about that. Right. What was the difference in price? First of all, what did you tell them on the phone you had?
Well, it was an inventory of the home. They just kind of ask you general questions, you answer, and of course the estimate is never going to be real because every home is different. So basically we just told him what we had, and he gave us a price based on square footage of a truck.
How much? How much? What's your price?
Our budget was based on many different things.
How much?
We had a budget $3,000.
Okay, $3,000. And what did it turn out to be? What did they want? And did you pay it?
Well, at the time, they kind of have you hostage, of course, because
did they take credit cards?
Yep, they did.
Well, that's good because you can contest it.
Correct.
Okay, so first question: how much over the $3,000? How much was the total bid at the end?
7.
Oh my God, more than double?
Yep.
What? 7? That's like more than double. That had to floor you.
It was a situation where you were just a deer in headlights.
Okay, so now you find out it's 7. What did you do?
Well, we didn't have the cash, of course, or the money to go any further than where we were. So on the blessing of what I guess was happening at the time, we had a neighbor there, and he was able to help us out with the balance. I mean, God willing, great person. But regardless, it wasn't expected. It was something he wanted to do for us because we were neighbors, and we would resolve that after the fact. So finished loading the truck, and that was the last we saw of it.
And where's your stuff now?
Good question.
You mean, wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't get your stuff?
Wow.
Not yet.
Wait, when were they scheduled to deliver?
Written on the contract that they gave us was the 26th, which was the following Thursday of the
26th of?
What month?
October.
Of October. And
yep.
You did pay them in full?
Yep, everything was paid in full.
Wait, so when they wanted from 3 to 7, you gave them the 7, but still didn't get your stuff?
That's correct.
What is the name? Okay, Presidential. Where are they located?
Well, the paperwork states they're located in Arlington, Texas, as the main headquarters.
Did you? Okay, just tell me what they say. What do they say right now?
Well, if you can get a hold of anyone, which we've been trying to communicate for the last 2 to 3 weeks about getting information delivery, where's our merchandise?
Yeah, and you paid the money. And again, did you pay it by credit card?
Yeah, we all had 2 different credit cards in the game.
Oh my God! Well, at least you can do that. What is your stuff really worth?
A lot more than that.
I mean, really? You got a lot of good stuff?
Well, I mean, anyone that has a house. I mean, there's 18 years of marriage with my wife.
Oh my God.
There's
Suzanne, did we try calling?
No, not yet.
Well, let's do that.
Okay.
And then I have a deputy I want to put on this who I think he just he did a good job on that other moving problem. I'm hoping.
Oh, I can get him on that.
I'd like to get Clint on this.
Okay, let me see if he's available today.
Hold on, bro. I'm so sorry for you. I really, really am.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, these moving companies. But here's the deal. Our government doesn't address real problems. I mean, they're trying to with healthcare, but we spend so much wasted time with these laws. Frickin' green gardens. You got to put a garden on a roof. Who the hell cares about a garden on a roof? What I want is to protect consumers. To really protect consumers. God. So please stand by, people. We'll see what we can do. Meanwhile, I'm going to give out this number for this moving company, and if they're inundated with calls, just to let them know. First of all, we'll find out if they are truly a company, and then if we inundate them, perhaps we can convince them that that this will do them harm. We have more coming up.
A couple things on that, Tom, he didn't mention. He canceled a credit card 2 days after the move.
That's why this stuff. 2 days after.
Yeah, just a couple days after the move because he got a cold feet on it and he couldn't get them and stuff.
Okay. Well, that's why the hell didn't he tell you?
I asked him that, and that's right. That's and I took him a long time. I talked to him for 45 minutes.
Because if he paid for it, what is it, in between Denver and Texas somewhere, storage?
Yeah.
And they're holding
Well, he said
it?
he was home in Texas. Was he moving out of Texas? Where was he moving
No,
from?
from Colorado Springs to Gilmore, Texas.
Moving from Denver, Colorado to Texas, and if he paid it in full, how can they possibly be holding it? But there you are. He canceled.
He canceled, and then so now they want him to redo the credit cards and sign a thing on the credit cards.
Probably some storage fees.
So,
Yeah.
and another thing that he didn't say too is the guys there showed up in a rental truck and they spoke Russian.
Well, hold on. Let's see. The other question I'd like to know, if he canceled the credit card, did he return his neighbor's $4,000, or did he? How did that work out?
I think the neighbor did it. So they had three, and one. He had on 3 different credit cards. I think is what it was.
An awfully nice neighbor.
Heck yeah.
Maybe he had a deck like this in his front. And the neighbor was like, "This is the best $4,000 I've ever had."
I got rid of it then.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
And in celebration of 20 years of repiping, right now.
You put one of those tracker things in your stuff.
That's exactly what, like a low jack or something like that. That's exactly what I think.
Chip tracker things, so you know
You
your
could,
stuff.
in moving stuff, you could get a great big powerful one.
Sure.
They really have you by the balls when you move like that.
Oh,
They just like, there isn't one instance that goes right, I don't think. It's always a heartache,
I moved 3 or 4 times, but it was the company moves and everything was perfect. But it was national, they had a national contract and stuff, so.
I think it pays to pay the right people.
$3,000 to move from Colorado Springs to Texas? No way.
Nobody would do that.
Nobody do that.
Like gas costs alone are, probably, I don't know, $600-700. What's it? Did you drive to Austin?
Yeah.
What
TheRaleighHouse.com 720-893-5559. Hey guys, it's Ross Kaminsky, and you know my background is investing in finance. So I wanted to bring you a suggestion for a financial decision that could be a great thing for you. I'm talking
There's a guy
about
on the
cutting
front
back
yard
your
said, I
mortgage
like that
term
front yard, it
or
looks
lowering your
nice.
interest rate.
Why can't people just stay out of other people's business? They don't like the looks, don't look at it.
To own your home free and clear.
If that was the case, we'd still have Confederate soldier statues down south.
There you go. That's a great point.
Can't please anybody, can you?
Yeah, but I mean, you can have chipping paint. Hey, don't worry about it.
Thousands of dollars in overall savings. Because you're borrowing money at a lower rate and for much less time, it can be a much better deal for you. And with a fixed rate, no matter
Hey, where's this band that I'm hearing?
stays the same. Your monthly
Down in
payment
Studio C.
Is that the KVPI?
303-695-7000
Does that, or
go online at American Financing.
is that Willie B? No, that's not Willie B.
It's Studio C for KBCO.
Oh, KVCO.
That's where they invite bands in to do live jams, and they record them for ladies. They put together.
Yeah, the CD.
Some good CDs.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
These guys have been doling out free legal advice on the radio for years, and honestly, they remind
So
me
the
of
band
my
came in, they didn't
baseball.
recognize them.
They simply do right
I know, I saw them too, but I'm really out of that whole loop. I don't recognize anybody in the music industry.
If you want luxury granite,
Anybody I
My
recognize
seats are always
coming
in
in on a walker.
Suzanne, how are we doing on the woman, the homeless woman who has 2 jobs?
custom fabricators with a gold star with a better business
I
who are you talking about?
The woman, homeless woman with 2 jobs, needed a car and a room.
Daphne's working on the car. I got no response on the room.
5919. That's
We have no one. I'll mention it again.
Okay.
Online at
Crap. What was her
ArtofGranite.
first name?
The
I
IRS
remember.
garnishing your wages. Get your peace of mind back. Go to advancedtaxsolutions.com.
Terry? Was it Terry? On Denver's top station, 630 K-House.
Homeless and 2 jobs.
Okay, you remember yesterday a woman.
Okay, you remember yesterday a woman, Terry, homeless, 2 jobs. One of the jobs she can't get to because her car had massive failure. We're lining up a car for her. Maybe Deputy Daff can give us a follow-up. But we're not getting any bites on rooms. It doesn't have to be in the DU area, but somewhere around Denver. She just needs to be somewhere where she can get to work. And, of course, if we work on the car part, then she can be a little farther away. She truly has been just walking everywhere and trying to make it work with public transportation. She's a really good woman. We've done a background check on her even. So we can tell you that she is a good woman. No hand grenades in her past, and she needs a room. She can pay $400 to $500 a month. Okay, I know that's not much, but maybe you have a room, and is someone dependable with 2 jobs. Please help us. Go to live@troubleshooter.com. You see, we need help on this show to be effective. Please spread the word about the show. Another thing that helps us is when we can get on the air and talk about people, and when they're bad, you let them know. Because even bad people don't want to be found out. They want to do their dastardly deeds in the dark. How's that for alliteration? That's what they want. They don't want a light shined on them. Suzanne, did you contact Presidential Moving in Arlington, Texas?
So, Tom, this is what he told me off the air. He didn't want us to call, and the reason is because he's already escalated it with the Department of Motor Carrier Safety Administration in Texas, and they said they have he didn't even have to explain his situation to the gal. She said, we've had over 50 complaints on these folks.
And he already did contest it on his charge card.
And
so
she told him, you will get your stuff back. That's what she told him.
Well, I wish the government would do more for consumers. I don't want too many laws and regulations, but there's got to be something. There are certain areas. The Contractors Trust Act has no teeth. That is actually not a bad bill. Contractors Trust Act says when you take money up front, it must be held in trust for that job. You can't commingle it. And not just when you take it up front, when you take any money. Contractors Trust Act. We also need something with movers. That's a big area of concern, a really big area. Contractors and movers. Then, Dan, what comes to mind, Dan? Some of the other things we're getting lately. When they come up, I'll know, because we just have so many of them. But this is the clearinghouse for problems. If you listen to this show and you use the referral list, I swear to you, you're not going to have problems. You're just not. I mean, and nothing's perfect. You might have minor problems, but not insurmountable problems. The referral list is advertising, but so is everything. It's advertising. But you don't get to be on there unless you already proven yourself and continue to prove yourself. That's the point. It's advertising with accountability. You have someone to call. Who are you going to call, really, when you go to Craigslist or some other list? In fact, every day we handle people who've been on Thumbtack or Nextdoor or Task This or Task That. There are so many of these apps, and they just blindly send people to you. Blindly. Glenn, welcome to the show. What's going on? We have a line open, 303-713-TALK. Hi, Glenn.
Hey, Tom.
I appreciate you calling in about this because it gives testament to our referral list. Go ahead, Glenn.
Oh, yeah, so, I mean, Jeff Beck wanted to give a thumbs up. He fixed my brother Dylan's service van last year, and the thing's rock solid. It's awesome. New transmission in there.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the one that was the wrong train. Anyway.
And then you have a question about PRP.
Yeah. So PRP, my wife's looking at PRP potentially for an issue with the elbow and also in her back. And then the one that is real tricky is she's got a damaged peroneal tendon through her foot, and we're just wondering, does that stuff is it worth the money? It's a few $1,000.
Well, hold on now. I want to tell you your options, okay? With any kind of orthopedic problem, you have many therapies. Platelet-rich plasma, PRP, is where they take your blood, enrich it with red blood cells, and then re-inject it. The reason for that is the healing and growth properties. That's what it just sparks your system. But it also does something else. The trigger point injection injures the area on purpose. I don't mean they poke you like destructively, but the sheer nature of an injection injures the area, which causes a cure response, which is it swells a little, heat, swelling. Heat is God's cleaning fluid, heat, and also inflammation is what I call God's immobilization. It keeps you from moving. People want to get rid of inflammation, and they shouldn't. The only bad inflammation is infection. But when you have inflammation on a joint, it actually is a healing process. And if you put ice on it, you are literally stopping the healing process. Kids who put ice on their elbows and shoulders, coaches who tell them to do that, are ruining these kids because their joints are going to get weaker and weaker and weaker, and that's why they always have the same injury. What you do is you want it to swell up, you want it to heat up, white blood cells come in and fibroblast cells come in, and they literally rebuild the joint quicker and faster and better than it was. So if we let natural healing take place, I'm not talking about extraordinary problems, but I'm talking about problems like sprains and strains, it would be much better. So PRP is just doing that. That's what it's doing. It's putting her back into that condition. That's all it's doing, is recreating the injury so it can heal itself. And PRP does work. It should not be too expensive, though. I mean, when you say thousands, I shouldn't think more than two. Now, here's the other thing. There's something called prolotherapy, which is like PRP without the plasma, without the blood. They inject you with sugar water or cayenne pepper water, and you might say, Tom, that sounds like a fraud. Well, the material is not the important thing. What the important thing is that they inject it in the area and injure the area. They pinpoint an injury to do what? To trigger your repair response. That's what they want to do. So prolotherapy is much cheaper because they don't have to manipulate your blood. If you find anyone who does prolotherapy. And then the other one is PRP. And then a little step above PRP is this amniotic fluid you hear about with growth factors. A lot of these chiropractors call that stem cell therapy. It's not. It is amniotic fluid, but it does have some benefit. And then above that is stem cell therapy, which is living stem cells. Depending on what your wife has, it'll dictate what she should do. And I'll tell you the clinic that does all of them, and the one I would go to. I've researched these guys. They literally invented the stem cell injections, invented them. And that is Centeno Schultz, or Regenex in Broomfield. And if you're asking if it works, everything works, but the extent of how it works depends on how bad the injury is.
Yeah, Regenex actually is where she went for a consult.
Good. Excellent. You're in excellent hands. So if they want to do PRP, see, they're not going to... Stem cells the most expensive. So if they're recommending PRP, that means they think you don't need stem cells. That's good. Another thing they do, they actually turn patients away. They literally turn patients away if they can't help them or if it doesn't have known results.
Hey, Tom, does insurance ever cover any of these costs?
No,
never.
None of them.
Not really.
Because insurance loves calling things experimental. And then they can do that so they don't have to pay it. You're in good hands with Centeno Schultz, which is also called Regenex. In fact, for those listening, while I do this, I may as well just give you out the information. Because I don't want you Googling this and finding a chiropractor. Listen, I went through this already, all right? I had the amniotic fluid. Yeah, it did help me, by the way. It didn't help my shoulder. It helped my lower back. I'm not telling you they're a waste. I'm telling you they're lying to you. They're also overcharging you. And they're not doing the injections with imagery. Now, PRP, you don't really need imagery, but a lot of doctors use it. But you definitely need imagery with stem cell treatment. Centeno Schultz is 303-963-9201, 303-963-9201.
Yeah, I had the stem cell done here 2 weeks ago.
Where'd you have it done?
Colorado Stem Cell Institute, place he sent me to.
Did you go done? Did you have it done?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had what done?
Stem cells to the right knee.
Did it help?
It's getting better. Now, I mean, I like the magic wand right after they do it, where about 2 days later you feel like you're 18. But that's one of the things they should have warned me is you're going to feel good, or if you feel good, don't overdo it.
That amniotic fluid wiped out my lower back problem.
But
I didn't even have to go to stem cell, but
then he had another problem.
But he went to Stem Cell Institute, and that's who I used to represent. I don't represent him anymore.
Yeah.
Not because they're evil, because they don't use stem cells. They use amniotic fluid.
Well, then, no, because he was using stem cells, because he harvested them right from me.
Oh my God, that's different. Then you went to the other guy. You're right. That's wonderful. You got the real deal.
Yeah. No, harvested. And that's not a small deal.
No. The amniotic fluid will work. So will PRP. So will Prolo. But you got the real deal. They took your stem cells from your hip or from your fat?
From the fat.
Yeah.
So basically, it's basically like a liposuction deal. Right?
Yes.
Really? Yeah. It's not a small, and and this wasn't his fault, but I felt most of that because I don't respond well to local anesthetics. So I felt a good portion of that harvesting, and that was a miserable 20-30 minutes getting all that done.
It's like a little vacuum.
What does that cost?
Well, he actually ended up, it was $5,000, but he gave me a friends and family discount, knocked me down to $4,000.
That's good.
So the jury's out.
Jury's out, yeah, but I'm only 3 weeks in.
It'll do something.
Yeah, I'm only 3 weeks in.
He'll get it. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He'll get
How long does it
They
take
have
before you start
wonderful
to see
results
it?
with these. Did they use
4 to 6.
imagery?
I don't know, quite frankly, at that point, because he actually put a big apron up so you can't actually watch what's going on. So I believe he did, because the equipment was in the room. But yeah, now thanks to that, I'm going to be probably going back for my left knee. So I'm only 3 weeks in. I'm starting to feel results, but they say 4 to 6 weeks before you see anything really measurable.
Where's the other one? I'm gonna look into it. I need to do something about my right knee. It keeps me up at night. I can't sleep.
Oh, that's too bad. Do you know what's wrong with it?
Well, I had 3 surgeries at Kaiser. They removed the meniscus, all the meniscus.
What? All your meniscus is gone?
On the interior. And so it's cupped really bad, and they want to do a knee replacement, but I'm
go to Regenix.
Right?
Yeah, you may need a knee replacement. They're orthopedic doctors. I mean, they're MDs.
Yeah,
but he'll tell you you won't just do it.
Don't you love it the way he was saying that doesn't work?
That's right.
That doesn't work. The other guy we had.
He said right for hips. Right? That's what he said for hips.
The other guy we had. Oh, it didn't matter. Oh, yeah, you want this? It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. Yeah, we do this. We do that. We do this. We do that.
Willie just had it done recently too at Downtown's Clinic or whatever. Something. It's got a weird name like that. Downtown's Clinic.
I think the same one that Ross Kaminsky endorses too.
And he,
listen, all I can say is this:
he liked it very much.
They better. Well, whether he likes it or not, let's see if it works.
Yeah.
If they don't have MDs, if they don't use imagery, and if they don't use living stem cells, you're getting a second-rate job. It doesn't mean you're getting a bad job. It just means you're not getting stem cells.
Yeah, you're not getting what you're paying.
So your own stem cell, huh? That's
the only way to get stem cell therapy. Anyone who ships in fluid, it's not stem cell. It can't be by law, because in order to ship a stem cell,
you have to manipulate it. You have to. Yeah. And it's a drug, right?
Then it becomes a drug.
You listen to the show.
I was here. I was listening to part of it. Yeah. It's an educational process listening to this show. I learn something every time I listen to it.
Are you parasitic drain tester?
Yeah.
You subscribe to us on YouTube. I got a notice. It says parasitic drain tester. Is that your actual name?
That's a website. That's our website.
Yeah.
Talk about the liver stuff, but not today.
Yeah, it's a tool that I made.
Oh, that's
the tool. Yeah. It's electric motion.
I'm afraid the donor might back out. Because it's such a sacrifice.
It tests for parasitic drains on the
I
cars. And so it'll help you pinpoint where electrical load is coming from. Yeah.
To me, it
test the
sounds
car for you.
sounds like your drain has parasites in it.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to help
Before
you over
drain.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I hear. I'm thinking, that's what I thought that too. And
Electrical. Yeah.
I'm Tom Martino. I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. I proudly say the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe, and it's true. Well, I know on Earth. It's the longest running radio show in America, bar none. The longest running radio show with the same host, I should say, because there have been, shows that would go on and a host would take over. So
that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool.
Congratulations.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. No, it's Nolden. Nolden.
That's correct.
Yep. Hey, Nolden, I just need to ask about the name Nolden. Where did that come from?
That's grandmother's maiden name.
You know, a lot of guys, a lot of people, not just guys, have been named after their grandma or granddad, and their last name, not their first name, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I consider it an
Nolden.
honor.
And so what do people call you anything for short?
They call me a lot of things, Tom.
All right, so you have a question about airbags because what happened?
Yeah, I certainly do. So I had a Takata airbag recall on my Toyota Tundra, 05 Toyota Tundra.
Right.
And I got it replaced at the dealership. And ever since then, I've been having electrical problems in my steering column. Like my horn won't work, my cruise control won't work.
That sounds more like an installation problem than it does a product.
Definitely.
And this is the king here of auto electrics. Go ahead.
Well, that follows suit directly with the airbag replacement. There's what's called a clock spring. That's a device that maintains a permanent connection behind your steering wheel with your cruise control buttons, your horn buttons, and all that. That really follows suit with something being wrong with that device or it not being plugged in during assembly. They might have just left it unplugged. That could be.
No, then you can swing by.
It's a fairly easy check for those guys to recheck that. Yeah,
they can do it.
So actually, I did that, and that was the reason for my call today.
Oh, you should never mess with that, though. Not if your face is near it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No. So I took it back by the dealership, and they said, hey, look, we did not replace the driver's side airbag. We only replaced the passenger side airbag. And so we wouldn't have anything to do with it. So unless you're willing to pay a $150 diagnostic fee, we're not going to look into it.
Well, it could be coincidental, I suppose, that all of a sudden that went off on the driver's side. You know, what he's talking about is all on the steering column.
They're saying it has nothing to do. You know, Brian could find that out in a hurry.
Yeah, we could take it apart and see.
And then he could find out in a hurry. And if it turns out it's something they did, we'd go after him for you. That's what I suggest you do.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And another reason for my call, it just so happens I was in the shuttle van with another lady who was having some work done on her car, and it turns out they replaced her airbags as well, and she started having electrical problems.
Oh, man, what does that tell you?
Well, I'm just putting two and two together, Tom, and I'm not coming up with four.
Where are you located, man?
Down in Colorado Springs.
Well, take a drive up, and you come on the show.
Come see us, or else go back to that dealer and negotiate it with them. Say,
listen,
hey, this wasn't happening before.
What kind of vehicle did you say it was?
An 05 Tundra, Toyota Tundra.
You know, if the dealer won't take a look at it, I'm serious. I really would love these guys. You know, Honest Accurate Auto, they're pretty good guys. Why don't you give them the information on Honest Accurate Auto? And they're not electric guys per se, like specializing, but
that's pretty straightforward. That's either going to be unplugged or it's straight up failed, and that's easy.
Brian Grossi, that's Lakewood Auto Electric. Now, how do people know what you handle? Mostly you get referrals, right? How do people know when to go to an auto electric place?
Well, I mean, you know, we get the complaints of you know, my power windows don't work and they're electric. You know, so they know that that's electric. You know, some of the electrical stuff is fuel related and engine performance stuff.
That's right. So How far do you get into that other stuff before you start, referring people?
All the way. I mean, the electrical systems for fuel injection and
yeah, but you're not going to rebuild injectors.
No, but we replace them. We do on misfires and things like that. We get that. We get that from other shops quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit.
Ron, Master Drive. What is the biggest mistake people make moving to Colorado come winter when it comes to driving? And more than just the common sense stuff, although common sense stuff, I don't mind if you go over it, like speed. I mean, if you slow down, everything works better. But go ahead.
Well, let's see. If we had 3 hours, we can probably cover the subject.
Good.
But
let's do it.
But let's start with, essentially with the driver. Okay? I mean, the driver...
What are they doing?
If they don't have the skill to understand units of traction of the tires on a slick road, what to do, what not to do.
Yeah, but let's talk about
cetera,
what I want to
cetera.
talk about is things that people almost automatically do wrong that you see all the time. That's when we come back, because we're going to run out of time. Because a lot of new people are moving here, and a lot of people hear, well, you don't need this, you don't need that, or it's different. The snow's wetter, the snow's drier. We hear everything. We'll do that coming back and more on the Troubleshooter Show. Budget A1 transmission and auto repair.
I imagine
any problem you have in
there's a
your car,
lot of
just
stuff.
$89 plus parts, or free. But you get more than just free. You get a complete.
Biggest thing is,
At least you'll know. They take
new cars with ABS, people don't know how to use the ABS.
We do. We don't deal a lot in emission.
Drivers, have some fear, contracts muscles, therefore can't do anything.
Right. I don't have.
There's some basic things that
the luxury of not having
can be. In fact,
you know what I mean?
we might just
kind
of pick our, because we're just starting fuel counts. We did last month.
Driving a while leaks a little bit. You get this emission check engine light. We deal more with the categorical problems that are heart failure that keep you from operating the vehicle. So that kind of thing. So it's
your need user special.
Yeah. I did this a long time ago. I did this one dirt bike riding. I did the MCO.
Frankly, I can't remember.
4 years.
Well, it used to be
5 knee surgeries.
Yeah.
But this one is.
We've got that on right now at the
Are you going to come up with one right now that we can publicize?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Just let me know.
And 120 and my mom has
Oh, okay. It's on the website.
Both these, but the first one went great. The second one, but she's quite a bit older.
199.
I'm holding out. I feel like I can, beyond the pain, functionality, I can do pretty much just that it hurts.
Anybody today?
Are you taking Tylenol? That's not good either.
Veterans Day special, a massive amount.
Sorry?
That's not good.
Veterans Day special.
Yeah.
Oxycontin and all those drugs.
No, absolutely.
None of that
You're
helps.
right, absolutely.
None of that helps. I have bottles of it from my surgery. I don't take it because it doesn't help. Just makes me a little dizzy, puts me a little fuzz,
You
but
gotta take a
it
couple
doesn't.
beers worth of though.
Maybe.
You know, the thing with painkillers is that they actually deaden your, they deaden, well, to make a long story short, there's something they do with your endorphins in your brain, which, because you're not using, it sensitizes your pain receptors. So when you come off it, you're more sensitive to pain. It literally makes you more sensitive to pain. So you need more. And that's not the reason you build the tolerance. You build the tolerance because of
But that's the reason why you get addicted.
well, one of the reasons you get addicted is your opiate receptors don't, your own dopamine and your own endorphins don't kick in anymore. So to feel normal, they take painkillers because you have to fill in those opiate receptors. That's why a lot of the weaning drugs help do that without, like chocolate. There are certain things that will help with opiate receptors. But as far as pain, you literally become more sensitive to pain. So you actually feel more pain after getting off of a painkiller. And that's why people get addicted, you're right, because they start coming off and they feel terrible. And I got to a point with a couple surgeries and all that when I did that laser spinal scan where I had so much sensitivity to pain, I thought, oh my God, I'm just in pain. I need pain meds because I'm just in pain. I have arthritis.
You need a break.
Oh, I just need it. I need it, you know? And the pain management doctor said, don't worry about it, you know, and then you start realizing, wait a minute, you know, this is not right. And what happens is you start building up and building up and building up. You're taking, we have a guy taking 160 milligrams a day of oxycodone. 160 milligrams. Now listen, a normal person would take a 5 milligram pill maybe twice a day, or 3 times a day for heavy pain. That's 15 milligrams a day. This guy's taking 160.
That's a problem.
Well, but if people actually, after a while, they build up that tolerance where they need it for their pain.
Or need something stronger.
But here's what happens, like Prince, okay? Here's what happens. You build up a tolerance because your receptors don't feel it. But your heart doesn't build up a tolerance.
Right.
And your lungs don't. So you stop breathing. You know, you just literally stop breathing. But you don't feel overdose. I mean, you feel like you did when you were taking 3 of them. And that's the danger, is you don't know where that cutoff point is. They say anything over 120, you're in danger territory of wanting to stop. So,
that's a lot, though. A normal person that doesn't take it, you know, you feel pretty high.
But there are amazing things I found that I did research on satisfying opiate receptors. You know.
You know what Advil works
chocolate.
Advil, dark chocolate, lots of cocoa content.
The darker the chocolate, the higher the cocoa content. But there's also a sugar, an alcohol sugar called an acetol. So I took dark chocolate and an acetol and made a chocolate bars, and I put some cayenne in it. Because cayenne has heat properties. So the heat and the opiate receptor stuff and the alcohol stuff, the alcohol sugar satisfies.
There are no upfront
they're not called alcohol receptors, but the receptors that alcoholics like.
As much as $1,000 a month.
And I'm telling you, this candy that I have literally makes you feel good.
Really?
And it helps you get over cravings.
How about making a little bouquet for Christmas?
Will you make it or you buy it?
I make it. You can't buy anything. I have to take an acetol.
Sounds like you have a great little product idea, Tom.
Capsaicin is what I use powdered in.
If you were in the mountains and had to get Dish or Direct, nobody's going to hurt for internet. Which one would you get? Dish or Direct for internet in the mountains?
They both suck $5 for internet. They have that latency. But I would use Dish only because the company is a better company to deal with. The technology is about the same. The technology is the same.
But making motor oil last longer than it should, dangerous. Lucky for you.
I use Advil, but I think a lot of it is a problem. After I skate, I have to take 4 or 5 pills to kind of be able to sleep that night. You know,
quality parts, healthy people. That's
but it makes the pain go away. It makes it better.
Sales prices do not include applicable state local taxes or assignment fees.
It is, yeah, I know.
Your shot at $1,000 right now. Text the keyword money to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry.
Feeling down, and I do appreciate you being round.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. We got all kinds of things going on, and all you have to do to be part of it is give me a call. And we will solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and we will make recommendations. This hour brought to you by Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. Now, what Ideal does is different than most lenders. Even though you're approved, they could get you right through. And they still do. They don't take any longer, but they do something else. They tweak your credit even beyond being approved. Little things. You may have $20 literally that has to be paid down on a credit card to get you to that next tier of credit. Or maybe your address is incorrect, or you don't have address information for 4 years ago. They have an expert there that knows what the deficiencies are in your credit, that even though you have a good score, you could have a better score, and that gets you lower pricing on the back end, pricing that you would feel over time. They also do other things like rate guarantees. Over the next 2 years, they guarantee that if the rate goes down, they're going to refinance you free of charge. And then they have the pre-approval, which is like cash. Ideal Home Loans, 303-867-7000, 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. Welcome to the show. Today is Car Day. Jeff Vick with Kimmer Transmission. Ron Langford and Mark Stolberg, they're with Master Drive, and Brian Grossi with Lakewood Electric. I'm going to get to all of your calls, I promise you. I asked about basics. What do people do wrong? You know, I say move to Colorado. A lot of people are moving to Colorado. A lot of people from California, from Texas, from Florida, from places that don't have a lot of snow. It's not just the snow, but what do people, let's get real basic, you know, what do people do wrong?
Tom, there are two basic things. Number one, in regard to the driver who has not developed the skill, i.e. you develop skill by doing. Okay?
Yeah, so what are they doing wrong?
They're not used to driving on slick roads, so therefore they typically are, their behavior is extreme fear, they hold their breath, they contract muscles, they do all the wrong things, they hit the brake. So really, the only way you talked
about contracted muscles. Are you telling me that literally you have better control if you relax?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. That is, the more comfortable
right.
you are with something, literally the sensitivity, that is the proprioceptive information coming from the hands to the body, from the thighs to the body. You know, you have more information going to your biocomputer.
I was told that when I was flying
the
helicopter. They said, you're holding the stick too tight, you're too uptight.
Yeah.
And they said any little perception, anything like that will be transferred. Like a Ouija board. I mean, it will be transferred. And so you have, even though you don't think you're doing it, like if you took a string with a washer on it and you hold it over a dot on a piece of paper and then you start thinking circle, it starts going in a circle without any perceptive movement. Or you start thinking left and right, it starts moving. Right?
There's a reason
and you're talking about that.
We use that. I train IndyCar drivers, okay? And we use that exact, in fact, we call it a brainwasher, okay?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what you're
wonderful.
focused
You
on,
do use that as an example.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. Now, so therefore, somebody on ice and snow, slick, they're not comfortable, behaviorally, it's all messed up, etc.
Okay.
How do you overcome that? You overcome it by learning to do it.
Okay.
That is, you
so
become more comfortable.
We're going to put down, as one tip, relax. Feel everything and relax.
But it doesn't work.
You can't just say relax.
No, that's one
that is
tip.
That's
not the only tip.
Yeah, but the way you become comfortable is by practicing.
Right, which relaxes you, relax.
Yeah.
And you got to practice being relaxed.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let me bring up something.
Give me something else. I can see people are uptight, and it causes them to do herky-jerky, slamming on brakes. But I want to really get basic. What else do they do wrong? You said something about ABS.
Well, the how to use ABS, that is anti-lock braking system. Most people don't know how to use it. They go into the brakes, it starts pulsating,
and then they let up.
And they let up because they think the brakes have failed.
They get scared. It's a scary thing.
So what should they do? Gentle pressure?
Well, the ABS is designed to pulsate, i.e., it doesn't quote unquote, except at low speed, by the way, but it doesn't really lock up. It continues to pulsate the brakes. Now, people will say, yeah, it's the same as pumping. No, it's not the same thing as pumping, but you really have to practice using ABS.
Because the pulsing on an ABS travels to different wheels at different times.
That's right.
Depending on what's locking up. Right.
Yeah, sequencing kind of thing. And therefore, it will help you maintain control of the car if you know how to use ABS.
It's a wonderful idea because they sense which one is about to lock and go to the next and go to the next, go to the next, and
it does it multiple times per second.
I know. So you should use, as you were teaching me, Mark, when we were driving, you said you use heavy pressure and faster if you need it quicker, or slower and more steady if you need it slower. But there's nothing wrong. You don't want to slam or stomp, but there's nothing wrong with quickly applying brakes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So threshold braking is a progressive application of the brakes. Doesn't necessarily mean a slow application of the brakes. In a crisis situation, you may have to do that very, very quickly, but it's going to be progressive. You don't just stomp on the brake pedal.
So far, you got to relax or practice being relaxed and comfortable. So your sensory, your perceptors and your doers, your performance is more relaxed and more flowing. And then you have to learn how to use brakes. And you called it threshold braking?
Absolutely. Yes, threshold braking. It's technique.
As opposed to just applying brakes.
Right. So it's really braking right up to the threshold where the ABS is about to engage, or if you don't have ABS, where the wheels are about to lock up. So you're at the threshold. You're at the point of change.
And depending on if you need to stop quickly or slower, you apply the pressure accordingly. You guys we're going to be talking coming up. I want you to remember, guys, we're going to do a special for winter driving course, which we should send anyone to who's new, or anyone, actually. So, let's move on to some calls, and we'll come back to Master Drive. If you have any questions, give us a call. But stay tuned for this special we're going to do for winter driving tips. Marie, your turn. What can we do for you? Marie?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hi.
What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to share some information with you.
Okay.
For the last 3 years, I've been in contact with a surgeon out of Loveland who does successful stem cell therapy, and he has been doing a clinical trial for, I believe it's 9 years now, and he told me that according to insurance protocol, if you have a successful clinical trial for a minimum of 10 years, they will consider covering the cost of stem cell therapy. But he does not use amniotic. He harvests live stem cells from your pelvis.
Good. And I'm glad. Are you having results?
I am waiting till January because at that time it'll be the 10-year mark.
I don't think you'll get it covered, but I hope you do.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think you will, though. I just don't think you will, because insurance companies, there is no law or anything on that 10-year clinical study, but it would be a great argument to make. He's got a very good point, Marie. You make the argument, wait a minute, how experimental can it be after a 10-year clinical trial? So he might have a good strategy. Butch, what's happening, Butch?
Hey, I got an old 76 Dodge motorhome I need to get rid of.
Okay.
Can't seem to give it away. I can't start it. Somebody got in it and ripped the dashboard apart.
How bad is it? How bad is the dash?
Well, I mean, it might start, but the battery's gone too.
Okay.
It's junk, except it's got a good motor, a good transmission.
What's the interior like?
Pardon?
What's the interior like?
Torn up. The homeless people tore it up.
Well, that's why you can't get rid of it. I was thinking it could be a Lovemobile, but you can't even do.
Motor and a 727 tranny and a good 110 generator.
Yeah, well, in other words, it's got some salvageable parts.
Yeah, motor, transmission, and generator. And dually wheels on the back.
And you want to give it away.
Wants it, they can have it for free. I just want to get rid of it.
Okay, they'd have to come and tow it.
Nobody wants it.
He can donate it, can't he?
Now, is this the cab over? Is this the over cab? This Class C, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It's that kind of sheet metal sides and all that stuff.
But what I mean is, it's the kind of side that goes over a cab, like on a van.
Yeah.
The top goes over the cab.
Yes, the bed is over the cab.
Okay. And what color is it?
The only thing it's good for is the motor, transmission, and the generator.
We're going to take your name and number off the air.
Okay.
Anyone who wants this 76 Dodge motorhome for their Lovemobile, they can have it free. Now, it's all torn up inside, and he thinks, though, the engine is good. The tranny, you say, is good? How many miles on this engine and tranny?
Well, it's kind of rebuilt. It's probably about 60,000 miles.
Since rebuilt?
50,000 maybe, yeah.
Was it rebuilt
no way of telling for sure, but...
Was it rebuilt properly?
I think so. My son drove it around for a summer and then parked it here.
How many miles would be on it let's just say total miles. Forget the rebuild. How many miles?
Probably 150, 100.
Okay, not terrible. Not terrible. You guys know anything about those engines? Jeff, do you know anything about that transmission?
Oh, yeah, it's just the old school stuff. You're dealing with the same things.
Is that an 8-cylinder?
Yeah, it'll be an 8-cylinder. He's probably running a 360 inside there.
Well, listen, Suzanne, do me a favor. Get this information from Butch. If anyone wants a free 76 Dodge motorhome, it's probably good for the engine and tranny and generator. It's got some dualies on the back. The tires are not good, but the wheels. Hey, listen, who knows? We might be able to give this away. So you get his information. If you guys want this piece of junk, you can email us live@troubleshooter.com. live@troubleshooter.com. All right, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. There's a lot going on here, and Century RV has a new big giant indoor warehouse right here in the metro area. Now, we know they have a place on the Colorado 119 turnoff to Longmont and I-25 along that frontage road. Well, their new place, in addition to that, is here in Lakewood, just north of 6th Avenue, between Kipling and Sims. Is that anywhere near you, Lakewood Auto Electric? It's just north of 6th Avenue, between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's.
Yes, it is.
And that is a place with a huge selection. In fact, the biggest selection of used RVs anywhere in the state. You have new travel trailers there, too, for $99.95. And then they're taking up to $50,000 off on some of the big new stuff. They have Class A's and Class C's, fifth wheels, and more. All indoors, 30,000 square feet. It's open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. CenturyRV.com.
A year, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? We're shopping for RVs indoors.
It's all tore up inside. You didn't even take my dog with you. You don't eat much no more. He's underneath flowers over there.
I'm not seeing the turkey thing up. Do you want me to? You did? Okay. Well,
Let's look.
I just wanted to make sure.
I don't know. I mean,
There's such a need for housing now, you know. It's so expensive. I think a lot of people are going RV.
Yeah.
There was I think in Durango area or down there's a bunch of people that trying to get off the grid in
okay,
RVs.
I didn't see it, but
There's an article in the paper about it. Yeah.
I will now put it up then on LinkedIn.
He's off the grid.
Is he?
He's all solar. I mean, they're literally
The problem is that where do you put it?
He's actually he's on a smaller farm.
All right, just wanted to check.
California.
do you do the Instagram from your phone?
Mm-hmm.
I can't do Instagram.
Space on the farm.
Okay.
Is it his farm?
No. He just put rental space out there.
Because I can't have it on my phone.
We go to Chatfield. We tried to take an RV to Chatfield this summer. You know, just right there, close to that.
So,
It just made me log out of everything.
You can't go crazy.
I did?
Perpetually booked
Yeah,
out.
I held your hand
It's
and
for
said,
people
well,
that are trying to live, too. You know, they're living.
I think we might
Yeah,
have
I don't
found
get the
a place
tiny
for
house
this
thing. It's
Terry
like, why
Gal to
wouldn't you
live
just get
to.
it?
No.
Yeah.
This guy's free RV.
This guy called,
very happy.
he's a big fan,
Free
and he
RV.
said they have a room,
Free RV might
lock
be.
it, her bathroom.
Let us
washer
know
and dryer.
during
I
this.
am, he has to check with his wife, so he's
Okay.
waiting for her to call. So if we get her a car and a place to live, and somebody a liver, anybody need any organs?
No.
Because Suzanne is really good at that.
Need a knee over
Wow.
Suzanne's going to do the surgery?
Talk about full
How
service.
you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
Yourself?
Yeah, we're going to get her the game Operation, which I actually
To practice on.
I'm getting it for her.
It's awesome.
Dan, don't steal that from me.
Brian, we need to
could
talk
go
about
on
one of our
and on it
trucks.
together.
It's out of Denver. Where do you get one? 96
order
Ford,
online.
Yeah.
250. Some drain, some electrical drain.
No problem.
We'll find it.
Oh, yeah.
It's been problematic for a while.
We can find it.
I just put disconnect on it.
I invented a product for that.
Did you?
Yeah. And we sell too.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been able to find it, but 30 years ago I worked for a area fleet guy. Had a little sensor you put on the wire, the point to where it's
Short, yeah. That's for a direct short. But
that's cool.
yeah. That works in certain circumstances for finding something that blows a fuse.
Right.
But something that's drawing power usually doesn't blow a fuse. It's just an unwanted load. And to trace that out, it can be tricky. It can be tricky.
Well, he found some problems with the brake lights causing this transmission.
What is this about Moore? Was he sexual?
He's the guy that allegations that he was left in charge of a 14-year-old, went for drives in the car, had sexual activity with the
Didn't say sexual acts, just kissed her on top of
But he put his hand, her hand on him. He got undressed. Supposedly, allegedly. They took her panties off and stuff.
Just like Herman Cain, though. You know, all that stuff came up about Herman Cain. As soon as he dropped out of the race, boom, everybody disappeared. You never heard another word. So, I don't know.
Against who?
Remember when Herman Cain was running, what was that, for the 2012 election?
Yeah, but you know what?
And I'm tracking the road.
It's about time people get the whistleblower and know that they are doing this shit.
If they're doing it. But I mean, it's always when they come up with
a product.
product.
That's a product. That's my business card. Get a hold of me and get it down to me. We can fix it.
Because that's the smart financial move.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Ross
Is that
for my
taking off like it's your...
who can help you?
Yeah.
It's an amazing product.
Yeah, it's CDOT now has them for their fleet here, you know, and it's
all the upfit you need.
But it's a diagnostic tool, right?
Yeah.
I'm a finance guy.
So you wait, you need it.
Well, CDOT adds a bunch of GPSs and tracking fleet service type stuff to their cars, and that accrues to the drain that is manufactured into the vehicle, and so these guys are having a hard time with dead batteries, and they don't know which device is too much. And my device will actually tell you, you know, how much is okay and how much isn't.
How much is this tool?
It's $1,700, $1,699, and it tests the car for you, literally does it for you.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. We have a great show going, if I must say so myself, and it's because of all of the wonderful information we get from you guys on and off the air, and the help you give when we ask for money for something, for a project. How's the dog doing? I got to find out if we're raising enough money on Get That Dog Home. I got to check the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe site is wonderful, and we have two campaigns up there right now. One is GoFundMe.com/fight-for-adoption, and that one is where we are fighting a child pornographer to get the parental rights terminated. He's in prison for 37 years, and the stepdad wants to adopt her. But the scumbag in prison, who also was arrested for, it was for what? Molestation and pornography, wants to keep her, wants to keep being the dad. So how do you like that one? 303-713-TALK. That is GoFundMe.com, and I believe it's Fight for Adoption, I believe. I got to try to find that. Fight for Adoption. Anyway, let me take your calls. Brenda, what's going on with you?
Hi, Tom. Well, about a year ago in January, we agreed to move into a couple's house that were having marital problems.
Now, why would you ever go into that? Move into a house with marital problems. It's bad enough if everything's going perfectly.
Well, the wife was not in the home. She was not allowed there because of her violent behavior. She almost tried to kill her mom. And social services, child protection services were helping us. We were helping them. At that time, we didn't have.
Oh my God! This is giving me a headache already. So you're in the house. It's you and who? You and who?
The father's there. And
no, you and who? You alone moved in?
No, me and my husband.
Okay, you and your husband.
I have a psychology.
And what's your husband? What's your husband's first name?
Mohammed.
Okay, so you and Mohammed move in with this couple having marital problems, and what was the arrangement? Were you going to pay rent?
No. We were exchanging rent and board and rent for me to watch the 3 kids during the day so he could go to work.
Trade for kind of being a nanny.
Yeah, sort of. But we went through social service, child protective services,
Why?
and had our backgrounds and all of that done.
You had to have that done or they demanded it?
It was a demand because...
Okay, I can see why. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we stayed there until the wife was approved back in the house, and she literally had a conniption fit and threw us out of the house.
Okay.
In 2 days.
Okay, I need to know. Hold on, we got a bunch of information missing, which I like. I like the way you're telling stories. You get right to the point. Why were you kicked out? When was the first sign of trouble?
When she wanted us to go and get an apartment where our credit's crap.
Well, hold on.
Her,
Brenda, so you moved in, and she knew you were trading for child care. In the beginning, was it only supposed to be temporary? What was the arrangement?
Yeah, it was temporary.
It was supposed to be temporary. So, how long after you moved in did she start suggesting you get an apartment?
We were with the father for 5 months.
Now, why do you say father? Were they separated?
Yes.
She was not
living in a house in Houston.
Oh, she didn't even live with you?
No.
Okay.
But
you were there. You were there for 5 months, and then she said, "We need you to move out."
Well, that's saying that she said it nicely. She did not do that.
Well, it doesn't matter. She wanted you to move out, but here's what I don't understand. What power does this woman have to ask you to move out of her ex-husband's place?
It's her home.
And he's living there while they're divorcing?
They're not divorcing. She was under this thing that she tried to run her mother over in Louisiana.
Okay, Brenda, you're getting all down bunny holes. I need to know this. They're not getting divorced, but she doesn't live there, right?
She does now, after she's done everything she did.
Okay, so
anyway,
she wanted you to move out, and then at that point, did you stay?
No, we moved out that day.
Got you. You moved out and got a place of your own.
Well, we bought an RV.
Whatever. Now, what happened then?
3 weeks later, she domestic violenced her husband.
Okay, so she moved back home. Hold on. She moved back home, and she assaulted her husband, or she accused him of assaulting her. Which one was it?
She was charged with battery and assault.
Okay, so she assaulted her husband. She was accused of it. And then what happened?
Well, she came into of course, she's on a no bond or whatever. She can't be around, no contact bond, right? But she kept coming around at night and doing.
And you are still taking care of the kids during the day.
Yeah, in fact, she.
Okay, Brenda, please answer questions.
Right.
Brenda,
okay,
you're still taking care of the children, right?
Yes.
And you're being paid, right?
No.
But you're not trading room and board anymore, so you're doing this free.
Yeah, I'm doing it free.
Why are you doing it free? Why would you get up every day and go to this house to take care of how many kids?
I didn't get up. When she domestic violence, the husband wanted us back
Brenda,
in the
you're not
house.
answering questions. Why are you working free? How many kids are you taking care of?
3.
Okay, why are you doing it free?
Free rent, free food.
You just said you got your own place.
We got an RV. So when the husband asked us back in, it was no problem. We moved back in.
Okay, well, you left that part out, dear. Okay.
So she's back in the house.
So now you're back in the house. You're taking care of 3 kids. She accused him of domestic... Oh, no, not that. She was accused of domestic violence. She's not supposed to come around. And you're calling today because she is bugging you guys.
What she did is that... when we left the house the second time, we left with the kids. Social services...
When did you leave the second time? I thought you were back in the house.
We were back in the house for about a month.
Okay. Then what happened? Then you moved back out into your RV?
No. Social services, Child Protective Services wanted us to be with the kids because we were temporarily.
So when you moved
guardians.
out, this is a very simple question. When you moved out with the kids, was it with the dad's permission?
Yes.
And where did you, your husband, and the kids move to?
We were put up by Child Protective Services in a hotel for 13 days until they could find permanent placement for the children.
And did they find placement for the children?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And now what are you calling about?
On that 13th day that we turned the kids back over to them, we went that night to get our RV and our belongings.
Okay, gotcha. Now you're making sense. Then what happened?
She had stole my husband's passport, green card.
Oh, my gosh.
Social security card. We can't do nothing. He can't work. He can't travel.
Oh, my God. So how do you know she stole all this stuff?
Because it was in our file cabinet in the back of one of the drawers.
In the RV? In the RV?
Yeah.
So she
No,
went
in the house.
Oh,
In
so
the
she
house.
went through all your stuff in the house even though she was ordered not to go to the house.
Well, when we left the house with the kids, she could go to the house.
And is the husband still at the house?
At that time, no. He had flew to
Are they together now?
Yes.
And the kids they lost?
I don't know. I
Okay,
wasn't
so,
privy to that ever.
wow, is this a story. So hold on. So far now we have a couple going through marital problems, living in a house. You used to live there. The wife went through your stuff and stole a lot of stuff. How long have you been out of there?
Since July.
Okay.
What
do you need help with right now?
My husband needs his passport, or he actually has qualified to become a naturalized citizen, and they're making us wait and wait and wait. It was only supposed to take 120 days, and he could go to the ceremony. Well, this was in March, and they're still saying,
So
oh,
is
it's
she
so
denying? Is she denying she took your stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, then how? It sounds to me like. What do you think will change right now, Brenda, from day to day? She's denying she took everything. You're saying you need it. What's going to change? Nothing. It's going to be, tomorrow will be the same thing. She's going to deny it. You're going to need it. Next week, it's going to be the same thing. She's going to deny it. You're going to need it. So I need to know, what do you need us to do? Because right now, you're in a state of suspended animation. It's unbelievable to me. Hang on and we'll figure it out.
I got it. Get a story. It's amazing just to try to get a story.
Brutal. This happened in July?
But how do you get a story in March,
didn't she say?
Well, that's when I thought he was supposed to start going through his naturalization in March.
Yeah, but I mean, that should all be filed. Muhammad, the fact that he doesn't have his passport, is that delaying now? I mean, it should be in process, right?
Once you lose ID anymore,
how do you
God? You have to get a letter from God to get to check that.
But if you had one before, you should be able to go and get a duplicate. It takes 30 days. Takes 30 days.
You went up the house without your passport?
What a mess, man.
So scary.
Well, the guy tried to run over his mother, and then she beats the crap out of him. You keep letting this woman back into your house? What the hell is wrong
Tom, I wonder, do you ever watch Judge Judy?
And what about her?
You have a
than I do.
Oh, there you go. Well, she's older than you are now.
Man,
she's older than
I've
you.
been doing this longer than that bitch. I think I have been.
But she's got the same way of asking the right question, you know, and sifting through the.
Oh my
bullshit.
God! But it's so hard to get people to talk.
Do you like her approach, or not?
Yeah, I think I don't like her, but I like what she does. You know, I don't like her. I know too much about behind the scenes. I knew a producer and something.
Yeah.
She's just a real hard person.
Is she?
I mean,
yeah, she doesn't come around as the little Daisy. You know, that's for sure.
Literally. But here's the deal. There's no reason. I mean, on the radio, I have to be a certain way to keep things moving, but there's no reason to be an asshole to your people.
Yeah.
I never understood that. People think that I don't know. I see, this is what I don't understand. How do you keep people motivated?
If they hate you.
or if you just make them feel like shit. Yeah. I mean, they do little, I can't believe, I have to believe they do little things to undermine you now and then. Don't you think, if they don't like you?
Yes.
I think that
Absolutely.
it's been proven that employee theft and all of that goes up when people don't like who they work for. They feel justified almost.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Got to join them, not fight them like that, that's for sure.
I do not know where I stored something on my drive. I just don't know where I stored it. Yeah, I guess I can go.
I just can't believe they would leave without taking paperwork with them. What if the house burned down?
I don't know, man. The sad story of that story is the kids. They lost the kids. The kids are now gone. I mean, what the hell? You know, there's three kids.
It's probably better though.
3 kids in foster kids. Is that where they go? They go to a foster home? Is that what happens with that?
I'm sure that's what it went. Foster home.
She's worried about her ID and her husband Muhammad's driver's license, and here there's 3 kids that are in foster care without parents, or with parents that are just losers, you know.
I just can't believe you'd leave to go to a motel without your ID stuff.
Yeah, right. She left the house and in her RV, and she didn't take her important documents with her.
Well, when we talk about winter driving, be sure and say that it's licensed driver.
How about following too closely? Isn't that something that people do in the snow, that they're not, you know, out-of-state drivers, that they're used to a certain distance is okay, but then they get caught on a little bit of frost, or heck, in the summertime with the little rocks, you know, the little that remain.
Well, they follow too close. They follow too close when it's dry, and then they don't adjust.
Yeah, the conditions.
For the conditions, they don't. People don't perceive the condition. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with the modern car, because the modern car is so good and so capable.
Yeah.
It'll make up for that.
Yeah.
Reduce traction to some extent.
Yeah.
So you get a false sense of security, in my opinion, and you don't make an adjustment, and then when you have to actually make a maneuver, you don't have time or space to do it.
And there's a lot of new drivers in Colorado to the state. You know, you see out-of-state plates all the time now. Texas plates. I've been noticing a lot of Texas plates lately.
Texans are complaining there's too many of us moving down there.
Are we? Colorado moving down there?
Yeah. Just spent a week up in the hills with my buddies from DFW, and every time they turn around, you know, Colorado's moving in there, real estate prices are starting to boom down there.
Hi, Tom Martino here.
Tom Martino here. Today is Car Day. I have my car experts with me. We'll go back to that too. Brenda called in with a mess, okay? But here's the bottom line. She used to live with a guy and take care of the kids. She and her husband took care of his kids. The wife moved back in. While they were away, the wife, she said, stole all her husband's documents. So she's denying it, obviously. So there's nothing that can be done about it. Right now, what Brenda needs to do is replace the documents. Brenda, no matter what you say, she's never going to say, okay, Brenda, we're sorry, here's your stuff. She's not going to.
I mean, at least she could ask her insurance. It was in her house. Don't you have homeowners insurance for things that get...
Not for lost documents. What would you put a claim in for? And she doesn't, first of all, she's going to say, I'm not going to do it. She doesn't like you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a terrible thing, but she's not going to help you. You got to get that through your brains. She's not going to help you. So you need to figure out what to do now. You need to go find stuff.
Yeah. So we got to go to Egypt to do that.
Yeah, you do. Well, to where?
Egypt.
Well, you don't have to go to Egypt. You need to get a passport, get a replacement passport. He had one before.
Yes, but they're making him wait all this time,
right.
Saying they don't know how to identify him.
I know.
When he sent them copies of all his stuff.
Good. Good. But what were you hoping we could do? Get her to do something with homeowners? What do you think homeowners insurance would do? I mean, you know, let's say they did it. What would they do?
There's got to be some monetary value to these documents.
Okay.
I mean, you have to pay $125
let's say there is.
to get a passport.
Let's say there is. Let's say that you're out total $650 for all these lost documents and time. Let's just say that. Now what? You're going to say she stole your stuff. She's going to say she didn't. So Brenda, what makes you believe that you can convince her to admit it, to get insurance? First of all, insurance doesn't cover it. You have so many uphill battles. You got to forget about those people and start from square one and replace all of this stuff. Is there anything she took of material value other than documents, like a ring, watches?
My wedding ring.
Oh, she did. She took your wedding ring. How much is that worth?
Like $1,600.
Okay, so you can't prove it. She's not going to admit it. That's the problem. It really, really, really is a problem.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to have surgery on Monday, and I'm going to go living in an RV after surgery to heal.
It's terrible.
With no heat, no water, no electricity.
It's terrible. Will this husband stick up for you and help you? Does he have money?
The husband of hers?
Yeah. Will he help you anyway?
No.
He doesn't.
She's got him like a slave. He showed me a video of her, and she got up. They were fighting, and she got up and went to the kitchen, and then came back with a butcher knife behind her back. And I looked at him. I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, this is when she told me that either I'm going to be her slave, or the government slave, or imprisoned."
Sounds
this
kinky.
woman's nuts.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
she lost her kids. She's not going to be very cooperative with anything, I don't think.
No, I think they have their own problems. Brenda, there's nothing I can think of to help you other than maybe help you expedite some of the documentation. There's really nothing. I can say a prayer for you. I don't know what else to do. I really don't. This is a terrible situation. I know that, you know, you're upset. Nothing. So many times people get into this situation where there's just nothing that can be done and they won't let it go. Scott, welcome to the Tom Martino Show. What's going on, Scott? Scott?
Yeah, hi, Tom.
Hey, man, what's going on with you?
Well, I'm got a contract on a house, and it's in a development that you and Rolly started.
Up in Fort Lupton?
Ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I did start that years ago. Of course, I got out of it as shortly after, you know, with that recession and everything, but I understand it's really, really taken off.
Yeah, it's just about completely developed. All the lots are almost full. And
well, that's nice. So what's going on with you?
Quite a few builders have bought some of the lots through there, and the house that we have the contract on is with Diamond Builders. I can't seem to find anything.
So what's the problem? What's going on, man?
Oh, there is no problem.
Oh.
I just thought maybe you could give me some insight on Diamond Builders.
Okay. Now, did you buy the house already?
It's under contract. We're supposed to close in a couple of weeks.
Okay. I don't know anything about Diamond, but I can give you some general information. You can have a home inspection done on a new house just like a used one.
Yeah, we did that.
Oh, good. You actually had it inspected. That's kudos to you, man. Most people don't do that on a new house. So did you find any problems?
Not with the house itself. There's, we had a radon test done too, and it was kind of high, but
that's easy. That's easy to take care of.
Yeah, in fact, they even gave us $1,000.
Oh, go on our referral list and what's Suzanne? What is our radon people's name? She's they do such a good job.
Isn't it Absolute Radon Safety? I can look it up.
Or detection? Yeah, look it up. And these guys, they're really good. What else other than that?
When I do the inspection, when the builder's there with us, is anything out of the question as far as asking about the house?
Now, what do you mean? Tell me, give me an idea of what you mean.
Like who all the contractors were that he used for putting in the furnace or...
Well, you can ask anything you want. He doesn't have to tell you, but it's a but that's a great question. You know, I would like to know all of that. That's a good thing to have. You know, who did this and who did that and how can I get, you know, access? But this builder is giving you a warranty or not?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's a 1-year warranty. I think.
Well, don't assume anything, man. I mean, really.
I think my realtor told me that, but I'll have to go back and double check.
On a new house, it's really good to know your subs, but your contract is not with your subs. Your contract is with your general. Their contract is with the general. You have to go through him. So it's really, really difficult. Even if the sub did a bad job, you can't go after that sub directly. Now, if there was a death or something, a negligence, yeah, you can go after everyone. But I would say ask for it. Ask for a list of subcontractors. I moved into a home once, a custom home that somebody was building, and I bought it and finished like the last 2 or 3% of it, and I had a list of every single subcontractor. Every single one of them. I had a meeting with them even, and they were all together, and they all talked to each other on what they did and how they did it. It was wonderful. But you're not going to get that done most of the time.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with asking and getting a database together. Scott, another thing, okay? Just what kind of, you got your financing lined up and everything?
Right, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, you're on target, man. That's a good subdivision. I know for a fact we have all the services there. Everything is, it's just a good area. It's really a growing area.
Beautiful area. Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I knew that you had been part of it years ago. I didn't think you were anymore, but
no, I started it, and we got it subdivided, developed, and approved. I got all that done. We were selling lots. That was actually one of them where I was positive. I had a lot of equity in that, and that helped me settle for the ones where I didn't have equity, where my downtown property went to hell. Luckily, when I put all my property together, my losses really only came out to be about, well, there was about a $3.5 million settlement in the business bankruptcy, but out of that, I was even able to get some equity to pay that off from selling some of my good assets. So all in all, I was treated fairly, but I did pay a giant settlement. But it was still, I think, you know, not everything. Even during that recession, that Fort Lupton property held value. We got more coming right up.
I think so. It took everybody down.
Oh my God! Well,
I mean, it was brutal.
It wouldn't have taken me down if they just left me alone. I was making my payments, but they don't leave you alone.
No.
You know, if you're underwater, in commercial property they call it due. You know, and I said, you know, I suggested to the FDIC, and I said, why don't you put a 2-year moratorium? So because you're causing everyone to panic sell.
Yeah.
And then it brings property values down even more. So it was terrible. It was a terrible thing. They just caused a big problem. I mean, I'm
that would
talking
have been
about
a good development to still own.
people making their payments. They should have left alone.
Yeah.
See, I was making my payments, but my property went down to $30 a square foot, and I was into it for $60. Now that property is $280 a foot.
Wow.
So if they just let me make my payments,
it would have been
in
good.
2 or 3 years, I would have had millions. Yeah, but they wouldn't. So guess what happened? They foreclose on it, not because you're not paying, because your equity isn't there. And somebody else buys it, and they get rich. I mean, think about it. It's amazing.
Wow.
And the people who buy it are friends of the bank. Literally, they follow the bank and buy all their property.
They bought it for like the tax.
They bought it for 30 cents. My property was purchased for 27 cents on the dollar. I offered the FDIC 80%, and they wouldn't take it.
Wow.
But they took 30. Do you know why? Because the guy taking 30%, because if they took 80% from me, it looked like they gave a lender a break, and they get in trouble. But if they put it on the open market, then the other department looks like they made 30 cents.
Money laundering.
It looks like you did a good job. You made 30 cents. You know, that's what. So they think they're doing a great job.
Wow.
They don't talk to each other.
The rich gets richer and the poor get poorer, man. The guy that had that money during the recession was a rich guy, and now he's richer.
You know.
Well, good for him. I wish it would have been me.
I think it's, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah. Crazy amount of real estate going up right now.
Well, yeah, it is.
Really construction. Remember, that building wasn't there.
I know. Yep.
You know, I just looked out and I'm like, that's new. You know.
That's one on the corridor.
That big gray.
Yeah,
There's a parking lot or
that thing's. I mean, a month ago, it may have been the foundation, but that was.
I wonder what they're selling for those units, and I don't know if that's condos or if that's.
I think that's
apartments.
I just have to. You know, these units are not all taken. You know, I mean, it's this much supply. You'd think the pricing would start to come down.
But people say there's tons of people moving in here.
Actually, I got to ask Tom. I'm going to ask Tom that. I meant to remember about asking him if his outlook on real estate is still the same that it was a while ago.
That's been dropped.
Yeah, it's strong.
No, he thinks it's gonna. There's gonna
be a drop off.
Oh, there will be, but it's not going to be in the near future.
Not the near future.
Well, it depends on new, but but there's still strength. I mean, not as much as 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But there's still
strong
strength. Unaffordability of housing, therefore it drives up what's available.
Right.
And that's still happening.
That's still happening.
For
another year or two, you think? Or?
I don't think there's any way that it falls off a cliff in the next 2 years. And that's not a prediction of after 2 years. It's just there's that much strength in the market. By the way, a lot of my background before was in real estate development and construction.
Okay.
We have our own company.
Okay.
In Colorado Springs.
Well, they're saying that there's such a influx of
Hey, Ron,
people moving
did
in.
you bring your guitar? I heard.
I did.
Okay, good. Let's have some fun in the next hour. Just a little. But what we'll do is we'll have you start and then go to a break. Whatever you do, sing, play, and then we'll do it and then fade into a break. It'll be fun.
So I open my...
You can start getting ready. It'll be like in 10 minutes or so.
You want free bird.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun. I forgot my password. I never
have a lighter if you're going to record.
I never forget my password ever.
They use the phones now.
Yeah, it's just silly.
Hey, Tom, your outlook is still the same for the real estate market here? You're thinking that there's going to be a little drop-off?
You know what?
You're still thinking that, or have you changed?
I can't hear. Where's the speaker? Is there a mic on? Why don't we hear anything? We're dead in here. I don't hear anything. Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713. Our monitor's not working.
303-713. Our monitor's not working in here at all, so that's why I didn't hear anything. It's just not working. 303-713-8255. Okay, let's go to the phones. It's car day today. And Master Drive is in the house. We talked about a couple things. First of all, you want to be comfortable when driving and relax and not be uptight and gripped with a death grip. And you also want to properly use threshold braking with ABS, not pumping, but taking advantage of the technology. What is another good tip if we give a general tip on what people do wrong or what they can do right?
You know, Tom, one of the things that would really help people is to get a better perception of what's going on around them, get their eyes further up the road.
What does that mean?
Get their eyes further up the road so that they can anticipate the movement of other traffic and be able to make adjustments before they have to brake really hard or turn really quickly. And be aware of what the traction situation is. What does the road feel like? So, especially somebody who's new to driving in slick conditions, they don't recognize that slipperiness of the road. They don't feel it. And a lot of times a modern car with all of the systems that are in the car kind of mask it. So the car kind of takes care of it up to a point. And they don't make an adjustment for it. So pay attention to the road conditions. If it looks like it's going to be a little slick, start leaving more space even though you didn't slip.
Great. Okay. That's the first thing, awareness.
In regard to that,
I'm just doing a general topic, awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And to allow more time and space. I mean, that's
okay.
A critical thing.
That's different than awareness. You're right about that. That's So awareness is, you're right, a lot of people don't have awareness of anything, especially spatial awareness, and
especially in a car.
They're off somewhere else. And
Right.
and part of that is because of our cell phones, our radios,
Sure.
okay, so the next thing then you talked about after awareness.
Well, traction, and Mark talked about this.
No, I thought there was something along with awareness. You said
space.
Time and space.
Time, that's different than even awareness. That's that timing thing. People don't understand when they're tailgating. You know, I've had it happen where I thought I had a lot of space and the guy jammed on his brake and I was paying attention. And my goodness, I didn't realize how fast I came up on him.
Yeah. One of the things, by the way, and everybody should do this. In slick road conditions, let's say as an example,
Yeah.
I mean in dry road conditions, you know, people are tailgating you right on your tail. That's a dry road. That's really dangerous.
I know.
Even in a dry road condition, the only space that you can create safe for you is to leave space in front of you.
Right.
You can't
You
make
can't
the guy
predict
behind
tomorrow,
you.
right, but in front of you. So do it.
Now, if you're in a slick road condition, now what you do is increase the space between you and the car in front of you. Now, people will say, yeah, but somebody will come slamming in, you know, into that space.
They do.
Well, they do, but then leave a little bit of space between that guy.
I know. They do it all the time. They can't stand to see a gap, ever. I've noticed that. Let's talk to Rosa about a bad body shop. Rosa.
Yes, hi, Tom.
Hi, Rosa. When did this happen, this body work?
It happened the last week of June.
Now, was it a result of insurance?
Yes.
And whose fault was it?
It was actually involved in the hailstorm.
Oh, okay. So, what's going on? How can we help you?
We took it to Ace Customs Auto Shop here in Commerce City.
Okay.
He kept it for 2 weeks. We gave him the check because he wanted to cash the check for tax purposes. He was going to give us the money once he cashed the check.
That doesn't sound right for tax purposes. I don't understand that. But hold on, and you'll be first out of the gate, Rosa. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. We have more coming up. You've probably seen those.
It was totally dead. I think a microphone was on. I think there was a microphone somewhere on. Some button was pressed or something because I couldn't hear and I didn't even know we were on, so it's just not a big deal.
That's the new one you need to check for tax purposes?
Yeah, to make a tax payment. That he's behind on.
That's what I'm behind on my 941.
There you go. That's probably behind on his estimate.
There you go.
EVF TPS is due on Wednesday.
There it is. Check.
They are fabricators, the ones who turn natural stone into beautiful pieces. And now, if you call the artist, you get bathroom vanity tops with the purchase of a kitchen.
Denver Auto Body, they were paying rental cars for 3-4 months.
Also,
and then Enterprise and stuff said, hey, we're not paying, we're not letting you just do it anymore. So the car's been in there for 3 months, and all of a sudden, you know, they don't get a rental car. The car's still not done.
He admits it
Crazy.
to Brady. Fox News. Comedian Louis C.K. says the allegations against him are true. Fox's Michelle Polino is live in L.A.
Louis C.K. releasing a statement confirming the recent allegations revealed in the New York Times that he performed
He's dirty.
He's dirty. He'll say
But he's good. I like dirty comedians. You know, they're fun. If it's done correctly, if it's done.
That what he learned later in life is when you have power over another person, asking to expose myself is a predicament for them. C.K. also said that the power he had over women was used irresponsibly. He ended the statement saying he regrets the pain he brought to the women and to his family. Lisa.
Thanks, Michelle. First daughter Ivanka Trump, part of a forum on tax reform in Maine, telling a possible future entrepreneur moments ago to figure out what he hopefully will create the environment from a regulatory perspective, from a licensure perspective, and from a tax perspective that will enable you to achieve your dreams and accomplish your goals. The U.S. Treasurer and Republican Senator Susan Collins also at that event, the packaging company, as Congress considers two plans.
I need
the same number of
Daphne to come up when you get a chance.
This is Jared Halpern, live in Washington.
House Republicans intend to pass a tax reform bill by the end of next week, a measure that is different than a Senate GOP bill unveiled yesterday.
We write a bill, they write a bill, we pass a bill, they pass a bill, we go to a conference committee, iron out the differences. That's how laws are written all the time. This will be no different.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says House and Senate negotiators will work out those differences that include different tax brackets, different deductions and credits. The Senate bill also delays for a year the 20% corporate tax rate that's implemented immediately in the House version. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. Fox News, fair and balanced.
It's the Ford year-end sales event. I can't wait for you to meet my parents.
Yeah, can't wait. Oh, here's a spot.
Can't fit.
Just watch.
I am, and so is my family. Why are you taking your hands off the wheel?
And
what song are you going to play for us?
Ford Edge, with available enhanced active park assist, makes parallel parking very impressive. They're gonna love you.
You do it a cappella?
That's Ford, America's best
Do it all
selling
a
brand.
cappella?
Now with exclusive
No, I
holiday
just helped
offers.
it.
It's 0% APR financing for 72 months. 1,400 cash with select unique, focused, escape, edge, and
They'll
explore
point to you,
models.
Jeff.
Hurry
You're
up.
off.
Take
the lead. Yeah.
Features supplemental and do not replace driver's attention, judgment, and need to control the vehicle. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing.
Is it in tune, Rob?
Huh?
$13.89 per month for 1,000 finance regardless.
Hopefully my guitar.
Decision retail delivery from dealer
It's
stock
close
by
enough.
30th, 2017. See dealer or go to buyford.com for complete details.
You've been playing a long time? Huh?
Yes.
This report is brought to you by SoFi.
Nice. Always wanted to play guitar. Bought a guitar, took some lessons. It's sitting in my living room.
with a high of 59 and
Well,
then
if
Sunday,
you have a nice stand and it's sitting in there, it's a nice.
I would say it looks good. It looks good. But I really enjoyed doing it. And then I finally got my calluses going.
If you had calluses, then you played enough.
There may be a
I
time
played
in your
enough to
life
get
where you need
get
Joseph
that fun.
Lazara.
I
You know,
really
I talk
enjoyed
about
it.
all my experts. Joe
Very well.
Lazara is one of them, and he's one of them I always say,
You'll
hey,
take
I
over.
hope you don't need
Yeah.
it, Joe.
No, you don't want that.
Little duets.
That's a different session. Altogether for sure.
Sometimes you're not stupid. You're just in the wrong
Play in a
place.
band at all, or?
Sometimes there's a
I-
DUI involved. Whatever it is, I'm not going to ask questions,
professionally
but I will say this.
many
Guilty or innocent, you need to get through the system, and you can't do it
Way
without
more.
legal representation. Joseph A. Lazara is someone we highly recommend. Of course, we also
And
recommend
what kind
you stay
of-
out of trouble too. But Joe Lazara can help you. When it comes to DUIs, you have so many things to think about. It's the civil case and the
Oh, we
criminal
look
case
forward
you
to
have
hearing
worry
you.
about. He can handle both with you and help you through the system. Joseph A. Lazara. LazaraLegal.com. That's Lazzara. LazaraLegal.com. Also my referral is thereferralist.com. He'll always do initial consultations complimentary. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200.
November is the time when you really start to feel the
Tom,
pain of your home's
Dad's
bad
on the phone.
windows,
That
which
should
makes
be
it
up
the
in a minute.
ideal time for Renewal by Anderson's Countdown to Black Friday window sale. I'm Ted Coates from Renewal by Anderson. Our window sale is going on now and ends on Black Friday. But until then, you'll get our biggest dollar discount and best financing of the entire year. Get $330 off every window and $900 off every patio door. With no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. Don't wait until winter to deal with bad windows. Renewal by Anderson's Countdown to Black Friday window sale is going on now and ends on Black Friday. But until the 24th, you'll get $330 off every window and $900 off every patio door, and don't pay anything for 2 years. For an appointment during our sale, call 720-683-6611.
Is that upset you guys? The corporate tax could get pushed to 19?
6611. That's
Or is that where you're never counting on it?
720-683-6611.
Is that after the next election?
DenverWindow.com.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, they're.
I thought it was supposed to phase in.
I want it to happen
I thought
now.
it was supposed to phase in.
I pay enough taxes.
I think they said it's going to push it off.
And it's going to be
2019.
worse anyway, I heard.
Well, that's Senate bill, House Representatives 2018, so it's just a year.
Yeah, I know, but I heard heard that it's not tax reform, it's worse than even now.
Well, this is just a corporate. Corporate's a 20%. The other stuff, you're right. So
For us, it would be massive.
So corporate, though, that's only on retained earnings. Nobody has retained earnings. Really, I mean, who cares about corporate tax rates?
Why not? Why not on just what your income, is at the end? Income, corporate income.
You should take take it out, right? Or you leave it in corporation.
Well, no, I mean I try to make it zero and take it out with
exactly.
Yeah, but there's some that we can't.
Well, no, it's nice to have profit, but you still distribute it as a dividend. If you leave it in, it's retained earnings. It's no good. If you lose the money, and then when you take it out, you pay tax again.
If it's a C corporation.
Yeah, if it's a C.
I got it.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. It's car day today. Welcome, my guests, one and all. We have Master Drive. We've been talking about driving tips. They train drivers. They train young people. They have classes, refresher courses. They have beautiful facilities. Ron Langford and Mark Stolberg are here with Master Drive. We've been talking about driving, and to sum up just really general categories, we talked about being relaxed and comfortable behind a wheel and not being so uptight and fidgety and death grips. And we talked about using ABS braking properly and threshold braking and steady pressures. And we talked about having awareness of your surroundings. So many people just know right where they are at the time and don't even ever turn their heads. We have the question of timing. What about timing? Do you know how long it takes to stop? Do you know the general overall awareness of tailgating and how much space you should have and how to create space? So these are just general things we're talking about. We're also going to hear Ron play the guitar in a little while. I'm going to ask him to start a song, and then we're going to go into a break. This is in a while. I want to take your calls right now. We also have Brian Grossi from Lakewood Electric, and we're talking about changes in wiring. I'm a tech geek and could probably bore the hell out of people with talk. But you know what's cool? Think about this. If you had a motor home or a house or a car, this is what they're doing, and you had a circuit, this research is ongoing, and they may have already implemented some of it, but you would have to wire from your panel, whatever your panel, it could be in a car, whatever. You'd wire from your power source to the appliance and then to a switch, right? Okay, so the switch is right off of that circuit, and it controls that circuit. And you run wires, they're called home runs, from the power source to the appliance. Power source to the appliance. Well, I had this motorhome one time, it was one of the prototypes, and I don't know how far they got with this, where they ran one circuit, one, around the entire motorhome. One circuit. Well, I might be exaggerating, but you'll hear what I have to say. This was for lighting and all this. It was lower voltage stuff, okay? One circuit. And what they did is they had a computer controller, and each device had a little IP address, like an internet. So each switch was programmable. So so they ran one circuit, one wire, not one wire, but one circuit, like around the motorhome. And when I pressed the button, I told it which IP address to go to. So I could program a switch to turn on a light in the bedroom, another switch to turn on a light in the bathroom, or one switch to turn everything on, or one switch to turn half things on, and it was a toggle on and off. So each item had an IP address. So you only needed one circuit. And it probably was more than one circuit. I'm probably not explaining it technically correctly, but you only need one set of wires. And the power would go out to whatever address I gave it. Imagine that. Imagine if they start doing that in houses, where you just really have, I don't know how it would work. And Brian, I'm explaining it all wrong, probably.
No, I think you're right. They do some. They call it bidirectional too.
It's amazing.
They're using a single conduit to achieve
for multiple things,
multiple purposes.
Because the power goes out and the computers tell it where to stop.
Yeah, so you have less wiring, but you have a little bit more computing power, which kind of simplifies things.
Yes.
And a lot less weight and a lot less copper and a lot less propensity to shorts.
Now, are cars kind of doing that now?
Cars are doing some of that bidirectional stuff, so they're using same wiring to do two different functions. That's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Well, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of that too. General Motors particularly is going to be changing from the CAN bus system that they're currently using now, which kind of works like a little telephone party system you had when you were younger. But they're going to be going to what's called flex bus, so they can eliminate the wires. The idea is to lighten the vehicle. That'll help with fuel economy, and it's basically going to be running off of cellular technology. You'll have average car will have about 19 different modules on there.
Oh, so they're actually communicating wirelessly.
By wireless. Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's even more amazing. But I like that idea of having addresses for items and addressing the addresses, as opposed to just having giant. We're going to look at a home one day and think, look at all this massive copper that we did not need. Maybe they'll use cellular technology. I know most everything's moving to lower voltage stuff, and LEDs has changed the entire world.
Yes, and wireless speakers, for audio systems now, you're getting wireless technology.
And LEDs were a mistake. I mean, it's like, oh, it glows. Wow, that could be a light source. So Rosa went to a body shop, and she said it was an insurance job, a hailstorm, and she went to Ace Customs in Commerce City. And when did you take your car in June?
In June, yes.
And what's the problem?
He did a really lousy job. He gave us back $2,700 out of the $10,000 that we gave him.
Okay, $10,000, and he gave you back $2,700. Why did he give you back $2,700?
Because we kept fighting him, because he had kept the check, and we kept fighting him for the money until the job was completely done.
Why did he give you? Okay, so this was like a goodwill adjustment. But are you saying that the car still sucks?
Yes, it's a 2017 Dodge Ram.
Yeah.
It's a brand new truck, and the paint is starting to crack.
Well, why did it have paint damage to begin with? You could have gone to like Flexident or some paintless dent repair.
We trusted him because he's done
yeah, but did he drill and fill? Did he grind? Did he do all that crap? Because if you had no paint problems, you could have had it done. You've heard of dent repair, right? A paintless dent repair?
I haven't, no.
Oh my goodness. When you looked at your truck after the hailstorm, did you have cracks in the paint? Was it chipping off, or was it just a ding in the metal?
It was dinged.
You could have fixed that, dear. Oh my God, you could have fixed it without ever knowing it was there. So instead, he ground that all off and repainted everything after he filled it with Bondo.
Wow.
What a terrible, terrible thing.
Bummer.
You know you can't undo it, Rosa.
Yeah, that's what we've been told. So
you're stuck with it, Rosa. You didn't do your homework. You didn't pick the right guy. I don't know what to tell you, dear. You're stuck with it. I mean, you are. I mean, now you can demand a good paint job at least. I'm not saying you're stuck with a bad paint job. You're stuck with the type of repair he did. So what can we do to help? Will this guy repaint it for you?
Last time my husband tried talking to him, they almost got in a fight because he refuses to. He says, you only paid me $7,500. That's what I gave you as a job. But we didn't finish paying him because he didn't finish the job. He didn't do a good job at it. That's the only reason we didn't finish.
Okay, so hold on. Right now, what do you want? Just tell me what you want.
I need advice on what to do. How can I go about this? How can I get him?
What do you want?
To give us our money. Give us our money back.
Wait, you're not going to get all your money back, dear. Come on. He did. I mean, other than the paint chipping, if you look at the side of your truck or the hood where the hail was, did he, like, how much of it looks good? Not the paint. I'm talking about the metal. Is it straight?
It is. I would say he took...
Is the paint the only problem right now?
Yes,
paint.
The paint.
Okay. So what you need to, this is what you need to do. You wanted advice. I'm going to give it to you. You need to take that truck to a body shop that we know and trust, or to an expert, and say, and I'm not talking about Mako, I'm talking about a really good paint job. and I'm not saying Maaco's not good. Maaco is good for what you pay. It's not good. But what you want to do is you want to get a price on a paint job for that vehicle. Guys, good paint jobs are up around $6,000-7,000, right?
Yes.
I mean a really good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to then, hopefully it's going to be under $7,500. You're going to go to small claims court and you're going to sue them. You're going to be sensible, and you're going to tell the judge, you know, Your Honor, they did fill the dings and they did smooth out the finish or the surface, but they did not paint it properly, and this is unacceptable. So then you will sue for the paint part only. What does it cost to fix the paint? Now what they're going to say is, oh no, we only allotted X amount of dollars for the paint. Most of it was repair. So she should only get back $2,000 because $2,000 is what we paid for the paint. But you're going to say, no, this is what it costs to fix. Here's the problem, though. You already did get $2,700 back.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have to give them credit for that. If it was a $10,000 job and you have $2,700 back, if you find out it's going to cost you $7,000 to repaint it, technically you should take off the $2,700 he already gave you and take the balance. But I would sue for the whole thing and let him make that argument that he already gave you $2,700. But listen, Rosa, you need to go to small claims court, but first you got to quantify the damage. That means find out what it's going to cost to fix.
Okay, so who do you refer me to? Who should I take it to?
Let's look off the air and we'll give you some recommendations, okay? You may have to drive some, but we'll get you a body shop that we know and trust. Hold on. Of course, we're going to go to referralist.com. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, Ron, this is too late, so could you do it for the next break? And I'll tell you what, I want you to come out of this break with a song, and then the next break, I'm going to, about a minute before we go to the break, I want to cue you, because I want to hear you play. You brought your guitar today.
Great, that'll be fun.
So during this break, he's going to get ready, and when we come out of the break, he's going to be playing music, and then we'll fade him down and go into our show. Right now, Raleigh House is the topic. This is a tough one. Raleigh House is a treatment center for addiction. That is not something a lot of people want to talk about, but we almost all know addicts in our lives, either pain pills, alcohol, meth, cocaine. The Raleigh House has established a special phone number for my listeners. Well, anyone can call, really. Pass it around. It's really meant to be an informational line. So many times people don't take the first step because they don't know what to do. So this is why we have this number. You're not going to be sold anything. You're going to say, help, what do I do? They're going to ask, is it a husband, wife, kid? What is it? Then they give you tips on how to deal with that situation. You're going to ask other questions like, what does it cost? Does insurance pay? Does my insurance pay? What treatment is available? What do you guys do at the Raleigh House? By the way, they do all medical and psychological evidence-based treatments designed specifically to reduce substance abuse. There's no more excuses, no more denial. You have this number. That's all you need is this number right now to take your first step. Call it. Ask any question you want. You have a caring, loving staff. If you're an addict yourself, call. If you're a friend of an addict, a loved one, call 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. One thing for absolutely sure, addiction will never, ever go away without help. 720-893-5559.
So,
this report is brought
give
to you.
us 30 seconds to back. When we're coming back in 30 seconds, then I'm going to cue you, okay? So get ready. I need to talk to you, Daph. Daph, I need to talk to you now. Thanks.
To watch out for a serious wreck on Wadsworth that Mississippi. That's affecting both directions of Wadsworth approaching it. If you can avoid that intersection, another crash off Highway and Island.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
When you go to GoFundMe, I'm going to sign it. This is what it looks like. You're going to go to sign in. This way. You're going to sign in. Use your backup a little bit. Okay, now, here's the deal. Really back. and then you'll go to supply campaigns. It says here, look at this, like it needs this. I need you to take note of that. Okay. And then I want to know how you get the money now. And we need to call this guy. Let's try to get this information and call him and say, look, we're trying our best. This is what we're going to raise. I hope it'll help. If you can't get that, this one and the words to make wishes I say every day, like a treasure. Okay. Hey, Ron, I want you to start that, though, again when we come back to the break.
All right?
Yeah, because you're not on the air now, and I love it. So I want you to start it again when we give you the cue. But you can sing now if you want. No, this is fine. I want you to do it. You can sing now anyway. You don't have to wait, but I want you to restart it.
Okay.
When I tell you to.
She has an appointment on December 11th.
We're still on like Facebook and YouTube. You just
Oh, I'm sorry. We are. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
But there seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do when you find them. I've been around long enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things that you want to do when you find them. I've been around long enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with.
You need the mic up closer to your mouth because it'll pick up your guitar, but you need to get closer to that. Up higher. Up higher, Dan. It needs to be toward his mouth.
Man, that's not pretty good. I can't get my guitar in there too tight.
I know, you're right.
You want to come here? You want to switch here?
Sorry.
Hey, you want to switch over
Here, come
there?
right here. This might be better for you.
Oh, that would be better. Yeah.
Okay, switching mics. Tell me when we have 1 minute.
You worked hard and saved for your retirement.
Now, that's what you're doing.
Give me the
on
1
right
minute
now.
mark, okay?
Last your lifetime.
What's that?
That's the mic that they were going on their Facebook there.
That's
so.
good.
Is that better?
The best you can do is that's fine. Take that headset off there so it doesn't feedback.
55 seconds. 488-8604.
Okay, I'm going to let you know when we have, when to start.
Or online.
You want to do a quick mic check?
And then we're not going to play long, obviously, after we're on there, but we're going to give a good sample.
Great. Just let me know.
It's wonderful. So we have, I'll let you know.
Things you grab.
Do this.
Your shot at $1,000. 16 times a day. Keep
Tell
listening
me,
for the keyword
15?
Weekdays from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's the cash grab.
Tell me 15.
15. Time
Okay,
station.
now,
Michael Brown.
ready?
Afternoons 4 to 7. Well, Einstein's done it
Go.
again.
Now, you're not on for another 5 or 10 seconds, but
5 seconds.
Like a military weapon? Join me Friday at 4 for more Irreverent Talk Radio.
If I time in a bottle. The first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away. Then I'd spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, and words could make wishes come.
Oh, wow, that is Ron Langford. Ron, baby, thank
that
you
was
very
lovely.
much. He's the founder of Master Drive. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. We're going to ask you going into the next break, so stay there, okay? And then I'll let you know. That would be great. Okay, so, and roughly it'll be like 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Okay. Let's talk. We have car day today, but we're talking about anything you want. I just want to give one last shout out to my GoFundMe stuff to get the dog home. It's GoFundMe.com. Get Dog Home, and the other one is Fight for Adoption. 2 very worthy causes. And, okay, Rich. Go ahead, Rich. What's going on, Rich?
Hey, Tom, let's talk about express toll real quick.
Yeah, man, is that a confusing thing, man. It's confusing because some people get a letter. Sometimes you get, like, it's automated if you have an account, but even with an account, sometimes I get billed. And then it looks like I paid twice.
Sure. Well, in short, it's a good deal. You blow through, they send you a bill, you pay it, and you don't have to stop. And, you know, it's, you know.
Yeah.
There's some Big Brother stuff there, but, you know, I can...
Gotcha.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
So I missed the friendly reminder, and then the next letter is a bill for $81.01 on an original $3 charge. So we went from $3 to $81.
Oh yeah, and it will in a hurry. And they are not. Well, actually, I shouldn't say they're not good about adjusting. They are good about adjusting.
Well,
I've heard people get adjustments.
Here's my specific question for you. I'm aware of the electronic speeding ticket where you have to be quote-unquote served, so you can essentially blow those off with no damage. Right?
Well, hold on. Unless you're served, right. Then you have to decide, right, if you want to be in contempt or failure to appear, right, which you don't want to do.
Okay. Now, can I guess... well, I thought you could just blow off the...
no, you can't blow it off. Here's the deal. If you get a photo radar ticket, here's what they've been doing. They've been only doing random mails. So if you forget one, there's most likely nothing will happen until and nothing can happen. You can't get in trouble unless you are served. Once you are served, then you have to show up and address it or call and settle it. That doesn't mean you lose, but you have to address it because it then becomes a court thing.
So served, you mean by an individual and
yes,
not the mail?
Unless the jurisdiction, one of the jurisdictions, I forget which one it was, and I don't think it'll hold up, they changed the law to say you don't have to be served for traffic offenses, which is BS. But I don't know which one that is, and I don't think it held up. In most cases, you must be served. Now, if they did change law, they'd have to tell you this is official service for this, and you must show up. Here's what I'm saying. Just the accusation is just what it is, an accusation. You're entitled to due process. Part of that due process is you defending yourself. Therefore, unless you're served, you have nothing. You have nothing but an accusation unless you are served. The same thing with a toll. Unless, if you don't pay it, they'll keep increasing, but they cannot collect a dime until they serve you and get a judgment.
Tom, don't they send you to collections there, though?
Yeah,
Instead,
of course.
It's not that's what happens. They send you to a collection agency.
The same thing with collections. You still have to be served. No one gets money from you ever automatically. Ever. Unless it's child support.
Okay,
the other stuff is all due process.
Mm-hmm. So on one side we've got a municipality with the electronic speeding tickets. Now I've got a private entity. My question is,
but they're working for they're not a private entity. It's a municipality, and then they employ collection agencies.
Gotcha. So let's talk about the credit report side. I mean, they can't report.
Well, they can. They can report that you have an unpaid bill. Then you have to dispute it. You'd have to dispute it like you would any inaccurate thing and say, no, I don't believe I do. They do that to blackmail you. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah. So obviously, when I go into the electronic pay gateway, it's $81, and I can't pay the original and hope they accept that. Have you? And you said you have had some luck settling, so to speak. If I call the call center and say, hey, you know, I'll pay the $40, just set up the pay gateway. I mean,
if you have a good excuse, they don't want. You know, I tried to see if I could get away with it, and I didn't. That's what I'm saying. So. Remember, they can't do anything until they serve you and go after you, but they probably will win. So the more you let it build up, the more you're going to owe ultimately. But yes, they have been known to settle. It depends on if they feel you're a flagrant violator and throwing it in their face or truly was unaware. It really all depends. Okay. Montesa. What's going on, Montesa?
Hi.
Okay, what's going on?
Hello?
What's happening?
Hi. So I got into a car accident and my car got totaled to a lot, which is called Ace.
Okay, it got towed to a lot. How bad is the car? Is it totaled?
Most likely, yes.
Okay, and what kind of car is it?
It's a 99 Buick Regal.
Okay, it's a 99 Buick Regal. I asked that because I know what your next question is going to be, and it's going to be, I need to know this information first. Go ahead. What is your question? You got towed to a yard. How long ago did this happen, Montesa?
It was just towed yesterday.
Okay. Accident yesterday, towed to a yard. Now what?
I went to the yard to try to retrieve my kids and my baby stuff.
Yeah, they're going to tell you you can't get your personal stuff, which is not true.
Well, they told her she could pay.
If it's not attached to the car, they can't keep it. They can't keep it, even if you don't pay.
They said that's not the case, and I have to pay $95. If I don't pay the $95, I can sign over the title to them, and I don't get anything.
But you can get your personal belongings. You can get your
cannot.
personal belongings. Yes, you can. They can't keep your personal belongings. They can only keep stuff attached to the car. They don't know the law, and you can keep it. Unless the law has been changed, you can keep your personal stuff. They can't force you to pay to get your personal stuff. And you can call the authority wherever you are. Call the Public Utilities Commission, and then call the county or city where you are and report them. That I'm just telling you the way it is. I can't make them do it. If they're going to be a-holes, I can't make them do it. But they can't do it legally. Okay? I can't. So we're gonna go to this quick break. Come on, just sing us out to a break here.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, rolling like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place.
From the Fox Business Network on Wall Street, the major average is falling for a second straight session as investors are concerned about a possible delay in the much-anticipated corporate tax cut. And a day after posting a sizable loss for the quarter due to a massive data breach, Equifax says it expects to incur related cost of between $60 million and $75 million.
I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. Traveling down that road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, yeah. Country roads, take me home to the place. I'm in West Virginia. Mountain mama, oh, take me home. Country road.
Wow, Ron.
Very good.
That's awesome. Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center. So it's a Friday, which means the midday drive is going to be a tough one.
Make that look easy, my friend.
Congestion.
Well, I've only played for about 6 months.
Southbound at crash moved off to the shoulder. Traffic, though, backed up to 120th. I-25 northbound stop and go from the Santa Fe flyover up to about Colfax, and 270 westbound heavy and slow from I-72 Vasquez. The weather forecast, we've got a pleasant weekend ahead.
Convenient, and where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 80% of Fortune 500 companies lease their vehicles because that's the smart financial move. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky from my friends at Alliance Leasing, who can help you save time and money and more money, and have been doing just that for Colorado businesses for more than 20 years. Alliance Leasing will get you into your fleet vehicles with all the upfit you need at the lowest delivered price. I'm a finance guy, and to me the choice of leasing with Alliance is the obvious one for your business. Learn more at alliance.lease. That's right, just type alliance.lease. Alliance Leasing, your key to the perfect fleet.
Hi, this is Gary Romero, owner of Devon's Pub. Devon's is one of Southeast Denver's best-kept secrets, where smoking is allowed. Experience a warm environment in a cozy setting with plenty of HD TVs to catch all of your favorite sports. Here at Devon's, we offer a wide variety of top-shelf scotch and spirits. We also have daily specials on wine, well, and drafts. Great service, fun atmosphere, killer cigar selection, newly felted pool tables, and a spacious patio. Enjoy the good times at Devon's Pub, 5 blocks west of I-25 on Hampton in the Happy Canyon Shopping Center.
Do you have high-interest credit card debt or student loans and feel like you will never get ahead making the minimum payment every month? Hi, this is Ross Kaminsky from my friends at American Finance. Probably you're right.
They actually said that?
Financing can be helpful by consolidating your high-interest debt into one manageable monthly
I thought it was just
casinos that can refinance up to 85% of your home's current value.
I didn't expect to go smoking weed or
No.
Tobacco. Well, what do you think? Cigars. No, is that like, I don't smoke, so it's like, is that done? You can't smoke anywhere now.
Cigar bar. Oh, it is a cigar bar? Oh, and split them up. And they just happen to serve.
There's a cigar bar right here in by the movie theater in
303
Park Meadows. Yeah, next to the movie theater there.
7,000 or online at American.
Go in there for 3 minutes and you smell like a cigar. It's pretty strong.
Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky. You following the here in Colorado. Do you want to find out more about the leading candidates, state issues? Colorado, the conservative voice for education reform, are partnering on a series of
But I think you're right. I think they were trying to get a place up for marijuana.
That's what I thought. I heard that. You were trying to pass that law, right?
I'm not sure if it went
Did that go through?
It's Tuesday,
certain restaurants didn't allow marijuana smoking.
Really? They are?
You need to put a little THC drops in your candy.
They really are going to do that. Wow.
People in America listen to radio, then watch the Throne Show. It's true. Radio reaches 90.
I do too. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me.
I hate everything about marijuana.
So do I.
The smell, the taste, the feeling. I've never felt that high. Good.
No.
Did you ever, Dan, did you ever try marijuana?
Oh, yeah.
Did you like it? I don't
Way
like
back
it.
when I was much smarter when I did it.
I mean, actually,
Today's marijuana is different than back in the day.
I mean, it'll knock the hell out of you.
It'll put you in,
But even back then, I didn't like it. I just never liked it.
I'm sorry, the marijuana today will knock you out. Oh, yeah. It's stronger? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, way stronger.
They figured it out.
Yes,
These Colorado guys.
Yeah, you're right. They figured it out.
Yeah, it's a different.
Strains, you know, they genetic, engineered, just like all made much stronger, much higher. I guess I didn't know. These are real. Yeah. Back then, just like leaves and thought it was good. Yeah.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. George has a question for Master Drive. Go ahead, George. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Listen, the latest automotive news has an interesting piece of writing from Bob Lutz, who is the former vice chair and head of product development for GM.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And he writes that at the latest, in 15 to 20 years, our legislators would have regulated all our cars off the road in favor of autonomous vehicles with a transition like of 5 years or so, he predicts. I think he's way off on his prediction.
So do you think it's going to be sooner or later?
Oh, I think it's going to be much later, much later. Not that a lot of the technology won't be available, but all the regulatory and capital necessary to invest in the infrastructure in a secure manner.
All right, so what's your question, George?
So I'm wondering about his business model. Where does driver's ed come into play as we go to more and more autonomous direction?
Well, you know, I'd say like 90% of the aviation fleet, or 98%, is autopilot, and it hasn't stopped training one bit. I don't know. I think you're always going to need people.
They're talking about not having a driver able to interact with having any control over
I know.
people.
I know.
They're not talking right. So that doesn't exist for planes.
No,
you can
that's
do
right.
It. Right. So they're talking about radically different
But don't you think, though, in case, though, I'm still talking about the same principle, that just in case kind of training.
But it's a great question. I mean, inevitably, you're going to have less driver's licenses issued, right?
You will.
You'd think. I think it's a...
Because even if, let's say, even if there is an emergency, I say emergency meaning it stalls or something happens, having a driver there they don't have to be there on the scene. I mean, they can stop, and it stops, and they call someone, you know.
You know, let me address... Let me address it for just a second, because I think what you're asking is really, by the way, an interesting question.
Yeah.
I mean, today we don't have the answers to that question. The technology to do what's necessary without, you know, somebody being able to hack into your car, etc. I mean, you know, right now it's a very scary deal. And by the way, it's going to be several years. Now, if we look at, you know, the whole concept of an autonomous car or autonomous systems, even 5 years ago, it's a different thing today. The technology has.
So what does that mean? What, you're not answering the question, though. What are you doing? What do you think will happen to your business? That was the question.
Well, eventually, if it's a deal of I get into, and we kind of refer to it as a subway syndrome, okay? But if I get into my car and it takes me somewhere, then I don't have to drive it, etc. Well, that may be the case somewhere 40, 50, I don't know, somewhere down the pike. However, the real deal is, in the meantime, we need to have drivers who are skillful.
Of course we
do. And let's look at it in regard to an autonomous car. If you're going to buy an autonomous car today, I mean pure autonomous car.
They don't have one today.
Well, I know, but if you were going to buy one today, how much would you pay for a better computer system rather than one that was half as good? Do you see my point?
Yeah,
that is, the driver today is still, and going to be in the future, still in charge of the car.
Well,
eventually, that may be a real good question, by the way.
But so there really is no answer. I mean, what does it do to your business? There have been plenty of businesses that have been technologied out of existence. There have been.
Yeah.
I mean, look at photo developers. But there's no reason for there's really no reason for a long discussion on what happens with autonomous cars. There are so many different opinions. Yes, they're going to come about, and yes, it's going to change things, but we don't know what it's going to change. Bob, what's happening?
Hello.
What's going on, Bob?
Yes, Bob. Hey, Tom, maybe your opinion or one of your car guys there. Monday, I bought a car. I'm not worried. I'm wondering about maybe the future collectability, and it's a 2017 Chevy SS. It's an Australian-built car.
So what do you want to know? You want to know, will it be collectible?
Well, the production run was 2015 through 17. There are only 4,000 units in the whole production run. But it's a very rare car.
And what is it, 2000 what?
2017 Chevy SS.
Chevy SS. And why do you, so it's really that limited?
4,000 cars were built over a 3-year
that.
period. They quit making them 3 months ago.
But why do you say Australian?
It's Australian built.
It is. No matter where it goes, it's Australian built, or yours is?
81% Australian. The drivetrain came from the U.S.
What and this is how they were always built?
Yep.
It's like the Holden. Remember the Holden?
Yeah, it's a Holden.
It's a Holden car.
It was pretty much the same car as a
I don't know what that means.
Super fast car.
G8 GXP.
It looks like a regular Chevy to me, but...
Looks like a Malibu.
It's kind of cute, yeah. So what are you asking? If you should hold on to it and not drive it much, or what?
Yeah, right. It's sitting in my garage at 46
well,
miles.
You know, the rules of collectability are usually the fewer the better, the fewer the better, the more unusual the better, and the less used the better, and then it's a wild card. I mean, you never know what's going to take off.
Then if it's Italian.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
that would help.
Italian. But any of you guys know anything about that car?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, as far as the collectability or the performance, Purefoy Chevrolet would know everything about it. But I don't think anyone, literally anyone, could predict the collectability of an item.
Yeah.
It's going to take years and years anyway.
I mean, no matter what, you know, you're looking at 20. I mean, it could have desirability in 10 or 15, but true collection, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would be much. I mean, before that, I mean.
Yeah.
Shannon.
Hi there. How are you doing?
What's going on?
Good. I have got a question for you relative to the purchase of a new used vehicle out of state.
Okay. I know a lot about it. Just went through it, so I can talk about it. So let's, I'll tell you about it right after this.
This report is brought to you by Walt.
So I cannot sign into GoFundMe on my Facebook because it's my Facebook, and I can't switch up. When I go onto yours, all right, I'll try it again.
No, German cars and French cars, your computer.
Don't get them mixed up. German cars and French cars and German
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, now, if it still does the right order, is German car, French woman. What's called not German woman, French car.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Oh,
they're definitely on the radar.
You're
up there.
I'm not putting it on either of the ones.
Four cars out women? It's on the Troubleshooter. Fair enough.
I'm talking about Italian equipment, Shannon cars.
It's not
at the same time.
Okay, I just told you.
Otherwise, you talk about French women and German cars.
Yes.
Period.
It's a red Italian car, referral, red Irish woman. The normal referral.
That would be a lot of trouble.
That's a lot of trouble. Your referral list. Okay. It'll be 50 years before that car starts to appreciate.
You never buy anything for the collector. And anytime something that's said, this is the collector's edition, what's one you can buy?
2010. That's not going to appreciate in 50 years.
The first thing that pulled up is massive blowout discounts on this car.
Oh, really? So it's never going to appreciate.
I don't think they did massive blowout discounts.
I mean, I posted
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So we're trying to get a car for this gal. She has a permit from Chicago.
That's right.
A learner's permit. She didn't drive a car out here. She got out here. She took a bus. Can she use that Chicago learner's permit to get a driver's license here in Colorado? Oh, she's 40-something, probably.
Well, she won't be able to until she's 49.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Who knows? God knows.
No, that would not happen. She will need to make a test to get her driver's license in Colorado.
She cannot get a scheduled test until December 11th. You guys only test people that go through master drive?
We cannot test an adult. She's over 18.
Okay.
Without a license, she has to test the vehicle.
Perfect. Okay. And there's no faster way to get a DMV?
Well, we can do something
everyone wants. Hi, this is
so
you could president of
Hi! I'm going to come over and try to you right now.
If she has any Bitcoin.
She has nothing. We did a background check on her.
I'm kidding.
I know. I'm just giving her right back. If I had my little squishy brain, I'd throw it at you. I know.
Does she have 2 children?
She does not.
No children.
No children. Yeah, she could sell one.
How can it
Sell one
disappear, though?
I have no idea.
Literally disappear.
And you didn't put it in Troubleshooter as far as me being able to grab it.
I know. But I don't see it either, but I posted it.
I know, and you showed it to me up here, and now I can't find it either.
For more information, go to.
So I'm.
Well, I'll have to repost it. I've never heard of a post disappearing.
Can you put it in Troubleshooter so I can grab the thing to put it on LinkedIn and all that?
No.
Okay.
We have a famous story
This Saturday
about the sisters from New York. They were like 60 years old. And we did training with both of them. And of course, our skills training, now we're going to
I was here.
And then
and then I go downstairs and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to think I'm extra blonde, but I'm actually darker. So.
How the hell is that happening? Now, to rewrite it.
No, just on the hood. No. Fortunately, it wasn't high speed.
Near the car, and she took off, but the wheels were turned. So they were turned towards me, so I went up on the hood, hanging on the windshield.
Oh, wow. It happened. Did you get hurt?
I can't believe
No, but there was another instructor in the car.
And I play with it.
Don't put on the brakes. She put on the brakes.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome.
Shannon needs some advice on purchasing a vehicle out of state. By the way, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. If you're buying or selling real estate, you will never do better than Frank Duran, 303-920-1622. I just got another review about Frank saying he came in and staged the house, cleaned the house, everything, did the whole thing, did the entire house, and staged it, and it sold in just a few days. But they were really blown away at the level of service and the cleaning of the house and at how many places their house showed up for sale. He does so much outbound marketing. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Shannon, if you're purchasing a car out of state, is it from a dealer or individual?
It would be a dealer.
Okay. If it's from a dealer, that's good news. They're going to give you probably everything that you need. So really, you get all the title work, but you don't do it, they don't have them send it into the state. That's where it gets complicated. You just take everything with you, and then you go to motor vehicle. It's not that complicated. And you have to pay the tax when you register it where you live. They don't collect the tax.
Okay, I've heard that. Now, when I spoke with them, I've spoken with them several times over the last 3 or 4 days. They told me if I paid cash, I would, of course, then be responsible for payment of the sales tax, obviously based on where I live.
You'll be even if you finance it, I believe, if they're out of state, they're not obligated to collect your tax.
All right. They told me something that varied from that in terms of...
What did they tell you?
They told me if I financed it, that would be the collection of my local, state, et cetera, taxes would be taken care of.
Yeah. If they were a Colorado dealer, they're not under Colorado law.
Right.
I mean, I don't even understand what they're saying. If anything, they have to collect tax for their state. What you get is a transport ticket, and you have a certain number of days to go and register and pay your taxes. If they want to send in your taxes, that's fine. They're putting an extra burden on themselves. Well, I'm just hoping that they don't collect the money and not pay it.
All right. So based on what I think I just understood, it's possible I would have to pay Texas taxes as well as then Colorado?
No, you don't pay both. No.
All right.
No, of course not. You only pay it where it's registered and where you live.
Okay, that's sort of what that was my impression upon doing research online over the weekend after talking to them a couple times. Let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on getting a inspection, a pre-purchase inspection?
Well, of course you want one. I mean, do you know this dealer?
No.
Is there a reason you're going out? Is there a reason you're going out of state?
It's sort of the unicorn car. I'm interested in a 2017 Ford Fusion, and this is it's a platinum level trim, which is a new trim model.
Okay, so you can't find it here.
I can find new. This has less than 950 miles on it, from what I'm being told, which makes sense because this coincides with a new Platinum that I drove here locally exactly 2 weeks ago, there was some sun damage up around where the dash meets the windshield, up by the airbag notification light. In this one locally, there was some cracking. Now they fixed it.
But what does that have to do with this?
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with it except for that's what makes this a used.
Oh, I get it. I get what you're saying. So you're getting an extra good deal.
Thing in Texas,
But yes, you want to. I mean, if the car's new under a new car warranty, inspection becomes way less important. It depends on how used it is. If it's technically not really used, no, you don't need an inspection except for lot damage and that kind of minor stuff. But when you buy a car, how many miles on it?
934.
Well, that's you could get a check, but it's not going to be that big a deal. You have a warranty.
Right.
You have a warranty. I would care more about little minor things like lot damage and stuff more than anything. Bertha, I'm sorry you waited so long. Bertha, what's going on? Hold on, Bertha. You know what? We're not going to be able to help Bertha. Not right now. I just don't have enough time. And if it's a problem with a motel, I just need to find out the level of help she needs, if you could help her. Preston, what's going on with you, Preston? What's happening? Preston?
How are you?
Good. Preston?
Okay.
Are you having a fit?
I said hello.
Okay, I can't hear you, man. I mean, all I hear is whoa, 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 whoa.
So I got offered $12,000
for what?
My Toyota Camry.
Yeah. How much is that? A lot?
I don't know. I only paid $4 for it.
Really? But it depends on how. This could be a scam. First of all, do you have it for sale?
No, a guy offered me cash. He showed me the cash.
Wait a minute. Why did he offer you? Where was the car? Did he walk up to you and say, "Here's 12 grand"?
Yes, he did.
What year is it?
It's a 99 Toyota Camry.
It's not worth near that. It's not. It's worth a couple thousand. So there's something strange going on. Preston, where were you when he offered you this money?
King Soopers.
And he literally walked up and said, "Here's 12,000 in cash for your car."
Well, he said how many miles? I said, oh, just about 2,500 miles. And he said,
25. Hold on, 2,500 miles.
Correct.
Oh, well, then that's why. It's if you only have 2,500 miles. First of all, that's almost mathematically impossible. But I would say if you can get cash and you do the paperwork properly, take the cash. I mean, it's up to you. It's a 99, guys. I don't know. We don't have
no brainer. Take it.
We don't have time to talk about it. But if you only have 2,500 miles, like I said, that's almost incorrect. But save all your problems for me.
$12,000 for a 99 Toyota Camry. There's a lot of cash out there driving course, but what we need to do is follow up on that Monday.
You better take that right to the bank.
There's a lot of fake $100 bills out there. I don't see the downside on that.
Fake $100 bills.
Could be. Could be.
I mean, how many people actually do that? Have 12,000 in their pocket?
Yeah, I might go to the bank and make sure that's actual cash.
Yep.
It's probably the same guy he was singing to.
Whoa.
I thought maybe
do I get them all or not?
Walgreens accepts Medicare assignment and full coverage supplemental insurance, so you'll pay as low as $0 out of pocket.
I don't care if it's 0 miles.
Medications you rely on
I would go bank, Camry. Let's do that.
One Touch and Walgreens True Metrics.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you, Brian.
Great news. Talk to your Walgreens.
We'll get you singing next time.
Oh boy.
At the corner of
Bring your harmonica.
You don't want to lose. Don't shut it down yet, Dan.
No, I'm still
live by yet.
No, we're still recording.
Just need to look at something.
To help you perform at your best, we're limited
Call my guy about this.
Beauty Rest sleep tracking monitor with the purchase of select mattresses during our Beauty Rest hybrid.
It was a fun show.
Take care of your leg, Jeff.
Taking out one of the tools right now.
Good.
We'll come back and
Get your Beauty Rest.
I can swing by and
design in Frisco or Mile High
come and show it to you.
I'm going to pop in there today and do payroll.
Well, can I stop by later? Can I stop by later?
Yeah, do payroll. I can stop out.
Let's get a card.
I think that was the last one I had on there.
Is it?
Yeah.
So pick your guitar up and start playing.
I do. I need to.
I mean,
I know. I know. It's a Tekami.
Takamine, Takamine. How do you say that?
I don't know.
It's
Have a good weekend.